What's up, little baby? What's happening? I know you about ready for some action, so just slide to my current. Let's get nasty. Say, what's up? What's cracking? What's up, little baby? What's happening? I know you about ready for some action, so just slide to my current. Let's get nasty.
Hi, everybody. I'm gonna make sure that people come on in, give it an opportunity. Listen, we're about to have us a great conversation. I hope everybody's been having an amazing week. We're on Wednesday. We're almost to Friday, child. A good old weekend. I hope everybody's been having an amazing week, honey. Because indeed I have been. I'm just giving people opportunity to come on in. Let's do that. Let me see. Come on in, speak, say hi. See here. Wait, this, no, it's not that lash, it's this lash. There you go. Oh my God. Lash is pissing me off sometimes. I swear to God. Oh my God. They aggravate my soul. Okay. How's everybody feeling, doing, living? What is going on, you guys? We are in here about to get into the things. You are on brand off script. We got another special interview, honey, because typically try to keep on brand off scripts on Fridays, but we had to reschedule with my girl. And then of course Sunday, if you haven't already, go ahead and check out my on brand off script interview with Tiana Small from Bad Girls Club season 11 and All Star Battle season 2 winner. Make sure y'all go check that out, run it up. Cause child, let me tell y'all, that thing is going viral. Why my interview is going viral on Instagram and Twitter? Like Twitter, it got over 100,000 views just the clip. I'm like, if y'all don't hit this link and watch this interview over here, hello, like, but that's just how this social media game go, child. Like, the people will watch short form content quicker than long form. But I hopefully, as I've been seeing, the numbers been coming up, so the people have been making their way. So we're happy about that. Okay. But um, if you haven't already, make sure y'all go check out that interview. But tonight, honey, tonight we got the Southside Princess herself coming up, Miss Nova Banks, and we're going to discuss all the things of the things. As we already know, we're going to preface the conversation with this. Everybody come in, enjoy the conversation. If you have any questions, the comments, or concerns that you would like to speak with Nova about, feel free to wait to the end of the end of the interview, and y'all can come up, speak your piece, have conversation. But also remember, this is a respectful, positive space. So we are here to have conversation and open dialogue, okay? So I just want to go ahead and let y'all know. But without further ado, let me go ahead and bring my good girlfriend up. Miss Nova, how are you
Okay.
doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm cooking right now, so I'm also trying to
Okay,
multitask.
come on, multitask. I live when you look cute, babe.
Thank you.
I love it. So before we get into all the things of the things, I always try to start off every interview with a mental health check. So
Mhm.
how are you feeling in this current stage of your life? How not only how are you feeling today, but just in life in general?
I'm feeling good. I've been working on everything. I'm always just working on everything. So I don't really have time to really sit down and be sad about anything. So my mental health is pretty good right now. I just be freaking filling my time up with shit to do. So I'm chilling.
Yeah, you're always on go. I feel that. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. Anytime when you're not on go and you have just little moments to yourself, just decompress. Really just,
hmm
process your feelings and thoughts, and so then when the time comes, you'll know when and how to properly like release them in the right way.
Right.
So yes, for tonight, yes, we're gonna get into all the things of the things. I want to go ahead and start off with a little icebreaker. And it's a little game that I play called on brand or off script, right?
Cool. Okay.
So I'm going to give you some scenarios, and you would determine whether it's on brand, meaning like I would do it, I did it, or that kind of vibe,
hmm
or off script, meaning no, that's not me, I would never do that kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one is: Dating your friend's ex.
That- that's like off brand for me. Yeah.
Okay. Elaborate. Why was it off brand for you?
It's off brand for me because if I consider you a friend, who you fuck with and who you like is like off limits to me. I like don't even find them attractive no more. Even if I did, like they could be cute, but you know, I'm just not that girl. Like I feel like I'd rather keep a friendship than to ever be sneaky with a boy behind my friend's back, or even if they're someone they're not fucking with at the moment. I'd rather still just keep clear and have me and my friend have a good relationship than me, you know, fuck
Yeah.
with her man on the low key.
Period. Okay. Blocking somebody, then secretly watching from a fake page.
On brand. Yeah, on brand. I'm always blocking because on Instagram it shows you too. It will like on your live stories, like it will be like the spam accounts on the bottom. And I'm quick to block those. Like, okay, if Instagram is claiming you a spam account, I don't even need you looking at my shit.
I'm screaming. I live. That's kind of me too, no shade. Like,
Right.
shout out
It's
to
like,
having multiple pages. Hello.
right, who are you?
Like, who are you? um, Taking somebody back after cheating.
On brand.
Okay.
Yeah, that's on brand for me because like I feel like cheating is bad, yeah, but like I don't know. I'm more like if I'm not gonna be with a guy if they're already like don't do shit for me. You know what I mean? So if you're doing a lot of for me and I happen to find out you just cheated on me one night and it was like a one night stand, I can get over it because I'm not gonna stop all the good things from happening just because you got your dick sucked one time by a hoe. Like that's just
Really?
never been me. Like, I don't know. I'm a hall pass girl. Like I'll give you a
Really?
hall pass. Like it is what I don't care.
Really? Listen, I can't be. I'm so sorry. I can't do it. I
I'm
can't do
different.
it.
Like I just feel like I don't know. Sex is like so nothing. I don't know. Like I feel like the relationship and the friendship is way more better than the sex. Like I don't know. So sex is never like important. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird right now, or maybe I'm just haven't been with a guy yet that makes me go crazy like that. But
Hmm.
I don't
No,
know.
and but see, here's the thing. I don't think nothing's wrong with it because I've heard that before. So it's not like a foreign thing. For me personally, it's so hard for me to like kind of like get past you physically or even emotionally having a connection with somebody else at the same time you have it with me. Like that's just so hard for me.
Yeah.
That's just me though.
It used to be hard for me when I was with 6'7". Like when I was like back in the day, like I used to always get in my feelings. Like I used to be like when every time he would talk to somebody or like I thought he was talking to somebody, I would get so in my bag about it. But
Yeah.
now I don't know. I'm just like different. Mm.
I feel that though. I definitely feel that.
All right, I feel
Uh,
like it also has something to do with the fact that once you are with somebody that you're in love with for so long, and then they
mhm,
break your heart, like
mhm.
you really can't take somebody else seriously for real. Like it's like hard. It's like they almost have to be like Superman, like the perfect dude for you to fall again. Because I've done all that. I fell. I was in love. I was stupid in love. I was, did all of that. So now it's just like, whatever, do what you want to do as long as we're having fun, I guess. Like, I don't know. I hate that for me, but then I just feel like I don't know.
I feel it, and we're going to get more into like the overall like love life stuff a little bit later,
Hmm.
because I'm definitely intrigued, and I definitely want to get further into it because I feel like we have a lot in common with that.
Yeah,
Um, but I have probably one more, and then we're going to get into the things of the things. Okay.
let's do it.
All right. One more would be, and this is kind of chasing Atlanta coded, no shade. Being friends with somebody you secretly don't like.
Off brand.
Off script.
Yeah, off brand because if I don't like you, you could tell because I'm not gonna be like super like myself. Like I'm gonna be a little bit more quiet, a little bit more to like not
Yeah.
so me. So there's no really faking it with me because you could tell if I like you or not. Like you could always tell.
I
So,
feel that.
mm,
I definitely feel that. Okay. Well, let's get into the things. So, first things first. Who is Nova Banks outside of what people think they know? Let's start that off.
Nova Banks is a sweetheart. Nova Banks is a hard worker. Nova Banks is yeah, I just feel like that's basically it. Like, Nova Banks is just a sweetheart, a hard worker, a author, a up and coming artist. I love music. I love writing. I love, photography. I love fashion. I love hair, makeup. Like, I'm just like a girl. I don't know. I'm just like a girl up. Like,
I love that. I love that. So, with you now making that statement, because I wanted that to be your first question, because I want you to set the standard of who you are.
mhm.
And this next question is following up. Considering that you're telling us now who you are, what do you think um, is one misconception that people have gotten from you so far in their journey of knowing you?
I think the biggest misconception of me is the fact that like people think I'm like evil and I'm like this just cold hearted bitch, Like I
Yeah.
feel like that's the biggest misconception of me. Like messy, yes, but
Hmm.
like evil, cold hearted bitch, I don't think so. Not so much, I don't feel like I've showed that, Like I feel like I'm Scorpio. I can definitely be your worst fucking nightmare. But I don't really feel like, I really was that. So I feel like that's the biggest misconception. People just labeling me as like very evil and cold hearted. And I don't feel like I am at all. It's like I'm a
Yeah.
sweetheart.
Yeah.
Like what Sammy say on Jersey Shore. I'm the sweetest bitch you'll ever meet.
Okay. That was literally my favorite girl ever. I live for Sam.
I live for Sammy too.
Yes. So when it comes down to the misconceptions, because obviously, again, we're going to get further into the chasing Atlanta stuff in a little bit. Um, when it comes down to misconceptions, do you feel as though in a lot of cases you contributed to the misconceptions that people have gotten from you? And if so, what part of that can you take into account for yourself?
Yeah, I feel like I'm totally accountable for why people think what they think of me, even though I feel like it has a little bit of prejudice to do with it. I do feel like I gave people the rope to hang me with. So as far as my like confessionals, like me being very like after Miami, after I got off that plane to from Miami to Atlanta, it was like within a week I was in green screens. So like I was still highly upset, and when I was like when I got to Miami, I wasn't very upset with anyone for real. I was actually like just chilling. But then like after Miami, it was like fuck everybody and especially fuck whoever I don't like at the moment. So like it was just extreme, because I was already upset. But now looking back, I'm like, okay, I should have definitely played that smarter because now these people are gonna think I'm a raging bitch from episode one. So, like I said, I gave people the rope with that one. So I have to just do better next time I'm ever in that situation.
Yeah. And I definitely feel that, which, I said that to some of the other cast during one of our lives where I was like, a lot of y'all are new, rookies, if you will. And with rookies comes rookie behavior, right? Like you make
Mhm.
choices and decisions that at the time you think like, okay, this may work out, this will go well, or this will be received well. And then the show starts coming on and then boom, not so well, And so it's just, really a learning experience. But as you said, you feel as though that there was some parts of prejudice to that, which we'll be getting into that as well in a little bit. Um, Before we do, though, considering we're discussing who you are and the misconceptions of you in this current state, let's take us back to, your upbringing, right? Let's start from the beginning of who Nova was and how she got here. So, what was childhood like for you? Paint us like a picture of what childhood was like for you.
Okay, so childhood for me was like in Brooklyn, New York, raised in my my grandma owned the whole apartment building. So it was like all my family was there. Like it was I had the apartment. We had the apartment on the third floor. My uncle, my aunt, and my grandma, they all had three different apartments on the first floor. And then we had like my mom's like best friend underneath on the second floor. So it was just like a really tight, like family oriented, like way of growing up. Like, Spanish freestyle, Spanish music, R&B music, always playing hip hop. Um, yeah, my mom's Puerto Rican, my dad's Jamaican, but they're very, New York, you know, they act very New Yorkish. They were born there their whole life and raised there. So just a mix of the New York culture and the Caribbean culture. That's like, that's what created Nova in the starting stages before I moved to Florida. Because when the Twin Towers happened, 9/11 and the towers got hit by the planes, my mom was not fucking with it. She was like, New York is a dangerous place for us right now. So we ended up moving us to Florida because she was just like scared that something was gonna happen to us. And I ended up being raised in Florida until I graduated. Well, I never graduated high school. I had to get like a GED, but until basically, school years, I was there
Yeah.
in Florida.
Period. Okay. So, upon you growing up in this time zone, like, well, in this time frame, like you said, you have a lot of cultural things that kind of play a part into who you are as your personality.
Hmm.
Um, but when it comes down to your identity, can you give me some context of figuring out who you were in the process of this life?
Like, what do you mean?
So, like, as of course you becoming Nova, when was the moment in your childhood, adolescence, whenever in your life, when was that moment you were like, I'm Nova?
Yeah. It was honestly when I was like in New York. So I was like very young still. I moved to Florida when I was like 7 or 6, maybe 8.
Mhm.
So I remember this being in New York, and I remember like being obsessed with Selena, like obsessed with the movie Selena, like with Jennifer Lopez. Like I was obsessed. I would watch it every day on repeat, replaying the VHS, rewinding it, like acting like I was her. And I just remember I would get in trouble for acting too much like her. Like they would be like, okay, chill out, like you're a boy, like you're not a girl, like stop trying to be like Selena, like da 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 da. And I'm just like, I want to like be Selena. What are you talking about? So, I remember literally going to my room when I was young in New York, and I remember looking out the window and I like prayed to God. I was like, God, can you make me a girl so like my parents could stop like being mean to me, basically, so like they could stop telling me like I'm a boy and like I could just be myself. And I remember waking up the next day, still, myself. And I just remember being so disappointed. I was like, oh, my prayer, my wish on the star didn't work. Like, I'm still me. And I remember that was the moment I was like, yeah, like, I'm very much different than, like, what people assume I am. Like, I'm very different. And, like, from that moment on, I knew, like, I was different, but I couldn't like do too much because of my family. Like I just knew it just wasn't gonna be because there were so many times I would say little things like, for example, my cousin, she had got a camcorder, right? Like back in the day, the ones, the exaggerated ones with the fold out with the thing. You're like real big, and everyone's dad used to walk around with it on birthdays and
Mhm.
stuff. So my cousin had one of those, and she was like, "Oh, let's make a movie," little kid stuff. And I remember my mom was like writing parts down on like a little paper, and I remember I was like, "Mom, can I be the girl?" And it was like reality style. It was like, what did you just say? And she was like, and I remember I was like, oh, I ain't say nothing, child. Like, I ain't say nothing. Like, forget you heard my voice. And I remember her look at me, her look was just so disgustingly disturbed. Like, she was like, bitch, like, what did you do? You want to be a girl? Like, Like you could just tell. And I remember I was like, oh my god, like never doing that again. So just little stuff like that. I just remember like I had to definitely hide myself. Like I had to just, know who I am, but kind of like this, like hide it in a way where people just assumed I was like this feminine gay boy and just assumed like I was gay. Like literally, that was it. Like my whole childhood, people were like, "Oh, he's gay, he's gay, he's gay, he's gay." Before I even knew what gay was, people were calling me gay, and then I
Yeah.
was like, "Okay, I guess I'm gay."
So what age would you say that kind of like started?
Oh my god! As soon as I start going to school, kids are gonna clock T in 2.5 seconds. So
Okay.
I remember going to school kindergarten, and the boys were like, "Why do you act like a girl? Like, why are you not like?" That was basically the main thing. Why do you act like a girl? Why do you talk like a girl? Why do you talk like a girl? And I would just be like, I wouldn't know what to say. I would just be like, I don't know, I'm just talking in my voice.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to act like nothing. I'm just trying to act like myself. So, yeah, I started like kindergarten, elementary school. I just remember that being a common thing. And then I had a twin brother. So people would always ask him too, like, is your brother gay? Why does your brother act like a girl? Like, da 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 da. And he would be like, also, like, we're confused, because he doesn't really see nothing wrong with me because we were together all the time. So he's like thinking I'm just
You just you.
Nova.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, I didn't know. He didn't realize how different I was neither until we went to school and people were like, your brother acts like a girl.
Hmm. So elaborate. How did your brother really feel about that at the time? Like, did y'all have a conversation, like one on one, about those interactions?
No, I remember like him just being like, like almost like it was almost like embarrassing for him as well. Cause it's like he didn't have the answers. Cause that's not something we talked about. I never came out once, never said I was gay ever in my
Yeah.
whole life. Cause I knew that wasn't it. I knew I never wanted to be like the way I pictured like, the picture like of me with somebody. I never saw me two boys in the picture. I always saw a girl and a boy and the girl being me. So yeah, my brother, we never had that conversation. I feel like for real. Like he just kind of paid it and was like, whatever, that's Nova.
Hmm. Yeah. Over time, after that first interaction that you said you had with your family, where you was like, "Mom, can I be the girl?" and then you realize, like, "Oh, I can't speak on this no more." Was there any like subtle moments? Because I always tell people a lot, like, um, parents, specifically moms, they always know something. They always just know, right? And
Mhm.
I feel like they have a tendency to be subliminal in how they feel about things, where it's like passive aggressive statements or roundabout ways of saying things. So, an example would be like my mom, when I was younger, there was an old show called As the World Turns,
Mhm.
and it was a soap opera, and there was two guys that ended up like the first like real gay couple on the show.
Mhm.
And anytime they would be on the scene, my mom would be like, "Oh, why they always got to put this here? Why they always got to do this?" That kind of
I
thing.
can
And then
relate. Stuff like that happened to me too.
yeah, I wanted to know like if that was something you also dealt with.
Yes, for sure. Like I remember being in Walmart at a young age and two girls were holding hands and they were like proudly, lesbian. And I remember my dad just looking at them like they were the most disgusting people in the world. And I was just like, ooh. And like, um, just that's like the main thing I remember. Oh, and my mom probably when I started to like when RuPaul's Drag Race started to come out, I started to like relate to that in a way, and she cut that shit off 2 seconds. Like she blocked. Remember, it used to come on the TV channel Logo,
Yeah,
and she blocked the whole channel from the whole direct TV Bright House package. I'm in Florida, so we have Bright House.
yeah.
That's what the cable was called. And like she called Bright House in 2.5 seconds and she was like, you could take Logo off the whole subscription. So I was in like she made sure like from a very young age, like I knew, like obviously there was a prejudice of gay and lesbian lifestyle. It was definitely a prejudice there. Like I peeped that at a very young age from my parents.
Absolutely. So, as you said, it started with when you always felt like who you were when you were younger, around 6. You said it was like elementary. What was the moment in time where you really just stepped into who you were and said, "I'm Nova," regardless of how anybody feels about it?
Literally, it happened a couple months before COVID hit, like mainstream. Like I remember moving to Michigan, um, with my best friend. So my best friend Marissa, she like was living in Michigan. She was like growing weed out there because it's like legal to grow weed and stuff like that. So she was trying to like make a business. So I like came with her. And that was the first time ever I was away from 6'7" and like my family, like ever. Like I mind you, I was with 6'7" for almost 10 years, and he was like steady like on me about like not being Nova. Like, cause that's when I started to touch into drag too. So he was always like turned off by me being in my drag get up. He was like over it. So and I would say like 2020, when COVID happened and I was in Michigan, that's when I finally like ended up like straightening my hair, going to Sally's and getting like extensions to add like the pieces in. And like I remember getting like going to Walgreens and getting like lashes, and like I remember getting my nails done, and I remember the reception from people. Like I was in a little small city in Michigan too. I was in Saginaw, Michigan. Like it's like probably 30 minutes away from Detroit. It's like the country. Like it was burnt down houses. It was fucking just nothing. The middle of nowhere. Like the middle of nowhere. And I remember when I first started to be real feminine like that with my hair, my makeup, my nails. I met this guy named Roger. He was like a probation officer. He was like so fucking fine. He was like 90s fine. Like, you know, like a grown man with his own shit, BMW, all this stuff. And
Mhm.
yes, and I remember my best friend being like, oh my God, like, you got a nigga quick. Like, he's like officially picking you up. Like you just came out here, and like he likes you like that. Like he doesn't like how would you? And this one, you know, straight hair, lashes. You know, and this was the first time I was looking like that and really saying my name was Nova for real. And he seemed to love it. He was like obsessed with me. Like I was like shocked because I come from 6'7" and my family telling me no, 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 don't be feminine, don't be a girl, you're a boy. Like 6'7" would try to get me to look like Nipsey Hussle. Like literally, like he would be like, put your hair in cornrows and like wear like just he was super gay. So like and like clock it for you, love that for you, but obviously it wasn't working with me, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's something. Okay. So when it comes down to it, because I want to flip into the love life and whatever, because as you was just saying, that also played a part into who you were. You was talking about 6'7". Elaborate on that relationship and that side of things, because we spoke about how the family kind of contributed to you not wanting to express yourself. Talk about 6'7" and how his contribution to that played a part.
So I'm at 6'7" as soon as my family kicked me out. So like no, not as soon. So I would say as soon as I turned 19. So I was like on my own for like a while, you know, not with my family,
Hmm.
you know. And then I would turn 19. I was with my other best friend named Enos. We I got like a townhouse together in like this city called DeBerry in Florida. And I went on Jags, and I see this 6'7" foot tall black man with tattoos, looking like a fucking just dream, like my dream type, like literally, like tatted, like strong. The way he acted was so masculine and just so like, ugh, just so country. Like it was just a dream. And I remember hitting him up and like him, he wanted to definitely one night stand me for sure. Like he was like just trying to fuck. And like I remember making it like my mission to like not fuck him. And then mind you, I was reading the book. the Steve Harvey book, How to Keep a Man book
Yeah.
from the movie.
Think like a man.
Think Like a Man. Yeah. So I'm reading that book, and it said in the book, don't have sex with a dude for at least 3 months, because in 3 months you will like realize one, like who they are. It's like so many benefits to waiting. It's two is like one, you probably not even gonna want to. Once you see who they are, you're probably not even gonna want to fuck them. You're gonna regret if you fucked them in the beginning to begin with.
Hello.
Two, you get to really get to know them. Where the fact that like now it's like a friendship. Where like now that they actually will. If you guys do end up having sex 3 months down the line, you guys built 3 months of friendship that like a normal person wouldn't just be able to cut you off that quickly compared to a one night stand, because you don't know them. You could easily be like, goodbye. But
Right.
3 months later, you're like invested a little bit more. Like you like the person, you've been chilling with them. Like you're not gonna do all that just to fuck. So I learned I learned that, and it worked. Because 6, 7, like I didn't fuck him for 3 months, and we just were chilling. I was just cooking for him, having him come over to the townhouse. I would cook down too. Like I was trying to make sure, like I made a point, like pork
Okay.
chops, mac and cheese, like all of that. Like making sure like he knew like I'm just a cool girl. Like, well, I was a boy at the time, so I was like, I'm just a cool person. Like, I'm not worried about just fucking. Like, I want you to be my boyfriend. And I remember I would always tell him that I would be like, I want you to be my man. And he would be like, why are you trying to rush things? Like, stop trying to rush stuff. And just the fact that he was so fine and he was in my life was enough at that moment in my life. Because I didn't have my family or nothing, and all my girlfriends at the time, like my friends, like they all had boyfriends. So like I always felt like I was like a third wheel. So now finally, and then when I met 6, 7, he was like 10 times sexier than all my friends' boyfriends. Oh, I was loving it. I was like, and he's tall, he could whoop y'all boyfriend's ass too. Oh, they're gonna talk some shit. Oh, like, oh, I was loving it. Like I was obsessed with him. And
Yeah.
but he met me as Alex, like the old me. And I can't believe I just said my old name. And like, and like you literally like he just wanted to be with the old me. And anytime I bridged off to being feminine, he tried to snap it. And then I thought I shouldn't try to be who I am because, I got someone I already want. I already have him. He's so fine and he's so perfect. So it's like, why would I even try to be something else to lose what I have? Um, so yeah, he played a big part in why it took me until 19 to 25 to start, 25 to 26 to start transitioning. Because that whole time I was with him and I didn't, like, even though I knew, I just put it on hold because I was like, all right, I already got the man I wanted and the one I would try to get looking like this.
Hmm.
So it's like I in my head back then I was like, oh, I don't have to do that because I already got the man. Like it was a major part of it was just the fact that I had a man. So I was like, I'm good. I don't need to do nothing. Like just so
Yes.
naive and like so stupid. Like.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, I mean, on the growth side of things, you did finally made the decision of like it has nothing to do with a man and had everything to do with you. So, can you kind of talk about that moment? Like, you already knew how your family felt. You already knew how this man that you already wanted felt. What was that moment of where you were like, hey, I don't give a damn how either one of these people feel, any of these people in my life feel. I want to do what I know is my for me and is best for me and my happiness. What was that moment and how hard was that for you to make that decision?
So I remember when I came back from Michigan in 2020 after COVID. Well, it was still during COVID. Um, I remember after I told you I went to Michigan, that's when I started straightening my hair. I got my nails done, got my lashes done. So then when I came back to Florida to be with my family, because I thought COVID was like a big deal. I thought we were all gonna die. So I was like, oh, I wanna be in there. So we all got close again because we all thought, the worst at that time. You remember 2020 was crazy. Um I remember like being afraid. I like in the airport, I was like biting my nails, my acrylics off. Like I remember I like was like trying to like masculinize myself in a way where like it wouldn't be too much of like a disturbance for my family. Um, and honestly, I fucking was biting my nail and it fucking broke and I started bleeding and I just remember I was like, fuck this. Fuck this. I'm doing too much for these bitches. I'm over here bleeding out my fucking finger when I could have just walked in here with my fucking nails and like not giving a fuck. And I'm over here in pain, bleeding like rawness because I'm so afraid of whatever the fuck my family's gonna say. Like, fuck them. And that was really the day. It was like the day I came off the plane and I was trying to bite my fucking nails off. Like, and I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And I'm literally almost like 27, 26 years old at this time. So I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I hurting myself, making myself bleed just so I don't have to hear my mom or my dad like have an opinion? No, no.
Yeah.
So I just remember just being like, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it.
Yeah. And you did what you needed to do, girl.
I
And
got
it
on
worked.
hormones. As soon as I came back to Florida, I met this girl at my fucking one of my drag shows. Her name was Coco. She was a part of my drag family. Because I had a drag mother named Aaliyah Naveau. You know, she's really popping in the Central Florida, Orlando drag scene.
Hmm.
And she made me her daughter, and she made a couple other girls drag queens her daughter, and it was a girl named Coco. She's sickening too. Coco, she's on the Tuck It Up Instagram doing campaigns for them. She's like the Korean Asian looking girl. Like that's my bitch. I love her. And she's the one who put me on where to get my hormones. It was like this clinic in Orlando. And she told me, she was like, girl, you need to get on hormones. And this is where you need to go. Like, you just need to go in there acting like yourself. And you're going to get on them quick. Even this other girl named Michelle Barbie, she's another drag queen in Orlando. And she's a trans performing drag queen. And she also, we had a conversation and she's like, Nova, are you on fucking hormones? I'm like, no. And she's like, what the fuck are you waiting for? You're already 26 years old. Like, obviously you're trans. Like, get on the pills, get the shots, like, start doing, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
And I was like, you're right. What the fuck am I waiting for? I just, so I started just, Coco told me where to go, got him. And it's been, this now. I'm here. I never
I love
stopped
it.
taking my hormones.
I love it. I love it. So how many years would you say you've been on it now?
Well, I would say the summer of 2021. So now almost 5 years, right?
Yeah. I love it. I
Mm-hmm.
live. So switching off because I want before we go into the next part, I want to kind of like end off your overall upbringing with what version of Nova had to survive for you to become who you are now?
Say it one more time, boo.
What version of Nova, meaning like that version of you where you were like, okay, I knew that this is me, but I couldn't be myself at this time.
Mm-hmm.
What part of you in that time um, did you have to preserve and survive in order for you to be who you are today?
Mm, I feel like basically all of it I had to protect because even when I was kicked out, I had to do what I had to do to make money. Like, after I got kicked out, I lived with my best friend and her mom, which I talked about the reunion, the Jamaican. My best friend's Jamaican as well. Well, my ex best friend was Jamaican. And her mom was obviously Jamaican, and I lived there until I was about like 18. And then after I was 18, I started living with my other homegirl, Enos, and that's when we got the townhouse and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I just feel like once I basically had no friends to stay with no more and like got life like for real and I like had to be an adult and I couldn't just stay
Mhm.
at my friend's couch no more. I feel like I had to protect myself the most and like hide like who I was because I had to like, be somebody else in a way. Like I had to be a this like when you when you have all your stuff with you and you're in a hotel and you don't have no money for the next day, your brain will start like just what are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna continue to be yourself and be Miss Nice and just like feel bad for yourself, or are you going to make a way and make sure you have somewhere to sleep so you're not in the motherfucking streets?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the time where I feel like I had to protect, like basically like hide who I was the most, was the time when I first came to Atlanta. And right before I came to Atlanta, when I was literally like hotel hopping, like I feel like I had to like be somebody I wasn't to just make it by, just to have somewhere to stay and not be in no one's like face, not bothering nobody, not, because it was like I started getting older. It was cute when I was younger, like when in my early 20s, to like be at your friend's house and like be at their couch and you guys are going to the club and like, life is not that serious yet. But then it just got, my friends started having kids. It just wasn't cute no more for me to be just around them like all the time. And I didn't have nowhere. I didn't have my mom or my dad. Like they totally like, made sure my room that I had there was not my room no more. So it was like, damn, I have to be somebody. I know I'm not, just to make sure I'm not like homeless or like in a shelter. So I feel like right before I came to Atlanta, and when I first came to Atlanta, I feel like it's when like I had to like be a different version of me that I like never was, just to like be okay and just be like I don't know, have a fake smile on my face because I was miserable, but I had to be like have like a fake smile because I had to be grateful. At least I'm like in a hotel. At least I'm not on the street. At least I'm not like hungry. At least I have like clothes. At least I have like food. Like I had to just be grateful for like the bare necessities like at like that time in my life a couple years ago. So that's the time when I had to definitely like be someone I wasn't.
I feel that. I feel that. So what age were you when you got kicked out?
It's like 16
Wow. Okay, 16. And then you stayed with the friend and her mom. How long?
for like 2 years until like high school was like over.
Okay, so you can really say honestly, since 16, you've been in survival mode.
Yeah, because even when I was there, I knew that like even though she like let me be myself, I always knew I wasn't her daughter. Because the minute me and her daughter would get into it, it was a side chose off top, understandably so. So like I had to. It's like I knew, yeah, like even, yeah. I just remember realizing too, like this is not my family. Even though they're treating me like family, I knew it wasn't my family, and I knew like I couldn't overstep thinking that because if something happened, I knew they would definitely let me know, bitch, you're not family.
Hmm.
So,
I feel that. Well, I just want to tell you, obviously, you've done a great job in getting to where you are today. You are
thank
not,
you.
your journey doesn't always define you in a way that people think. So the fact that you've made it through all of those things and you're here today is a blessing in itself. Because a lot of
I
people
believe
don't.
so too.
Yeah, a lot of people don't make it. They don't, especially when it comes to the trans girls. Like a lot of us don't have the grace or the blessings to even make it every day. And so, although, like you said, you had to become a person that you didn't want to be or you didn't even see yourself being, again, you're in survival mode. So, when it comes down to survival mode, there's certain things that you just do because you have to make it for the next day or the next week or the next month. And
Mhm.
although it may feel off at the time, you have to just be honest and be like, hey, it happened. I'm here. All I can do is just acknowledge that I had to make those decisions. I had to make those decisions, but they don't define me.
Right.
That was a period in time. So I commend you, girl. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, thank you.
Of
Thank you so
course.
much.
Of course. Before we move on, what would adult Nova say to young Nova today?
Oh my god, adult Nova would tell young Nova like read your books and just call it a day. Cause that's like, I remember there were so many times I will be on punishment for something. Like my mom would take away my TV, my CD player, everything. And I remember it would just be me, a book, and my thoughts. Like so much times I just remember being a little kid, like just thinking about like how I want my life to be. And I just remember back in the day, it's funny, I actually like thought my name was gonna be Valentina. Like I remember I was in like a middle school and I remember I looked up a whole bunch of girl names on like the Google on a Google website. And I saw the name Valentina, and I remember I was just like, "Oh, my name is Valentina." I remember I was in middle school, like, and I remember that's when the little photos, like the Facebook and MySpace started getting popular, and you would like edit your photos and stuff like that on the computer. And I remember I started to like put makeup on like my pictures and like put like fake hair on like my pictures and stuff just to see like how I would look. And I just remember like I always wanted to like envision myself as a girl at a young age. So I feel like older me now would definitely tell younger me like, child, it's coming. It's coming. Like, cause I would have never thought like the girl I see in my little box, child, little Alex would have been gagged. I tell you now, little Alex would be gagged because even looking at myself in on the show, like I sometimes I'm like, wow, these hormones are very hormone because you guys don't know what I used to look like, gratefully, but like I remember what I used to look like, and could clearly see the difference. So I'm just like, wow. The main thing is just like keep hold on tight, Lil Nova. Hold on tight. You gonna be the pretty bitch, the bad bitch you wanna be. Just hold on tight. Stay calm. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. That's what I would tell Lil Nova. Cause that's really all I wanted to be was a bad bitch when I was younger.
I love it. Okay. That's it. I think we all are in that space in that sector. Like, I live for the fact that you always had that thought process. That's how you know it's real. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're younger
hmm
and you always have that in your mind, like I'm meant to be a bad bitch. I'm meant to be fine as fuck. I'm meant to be cunt. I'm meant to do all the things.
Yes, and I would like tell my girlfriends too, like my friends, I would be like, you need to do this to your hair. You need to wear this. You need to wear like I was like showing them how to be a bad bitch because like I wanted to be a bad so bad. So I'm like trying to shake them, like, girl, you could do this and this,
Yes,
that, and third, so you could be a bad bitch too. Like, why are you not? You're a girl. Like, why are you not doing what I you should be doing?
I live. I live. So we're going to hit a couple questions into your transition, and then of
Mhm.
course get into the chasing Atlanta of it all. Okay.
Okay.
Before we do that, though, checking in, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling good. Actually, Kawazi, can you check the bake? I'm cooking baked chicken. Can you check? Did you turn off the oven? You turned it off? Yeah. Okay. Turn it back on and take the jerk barbecue sauce out. Yeah, but I'm fine, girl.
I
I'm
love it.
fine. Feeling real good. The AC is hitting me good. I'm not rushing no more. I was so hot when we started this because I was trying to rush.
Yes, no, that's how it
No,
is
I'm
for me
good.
too. I was just like, oh, girl. But let's see. Okay. So I'm going to ask a couple of fun questions before we get into the other things, okay?
hmm
Be honest. What's the biggest red flag you ignored because the person was fine?
The book bag.
What's the book bag? The book bag. I'm
The
screaming.
book bag. Literally,
What?
I feel like
I'm
I feel like
screaming.
that's what when I first came to Atlanta, I was walking around downtown, mind you. So I was living my Sex in the City. Like I thought, like big buildings, everyone's walking. It's not awkward. It's like to be a walker because everyone's doing it around here. And I just remember meeting a whole bunch of guys like when I first came out here, and I had to slowly realize, like oh, a man walking with a whole book bag obviously is not a good sign, but I had to learn that the hard way. Like, so yeah.
no, Because why is that such a thing? Like, it's really a thing, especially in Atlanta. It's a real thing.
It is. They
Like, oh
literally,
my
the
goodness.
guys are out here with their book bag,
Yes.
like walking around, like, yeah, with their wife underwear, deodorant, like maybe some bag of chips in the book bag. Like, and I'm just looking at like, ooh, tall, dark skin, like,
Oh,
these guys that be walking around Atlanta, like they don't be looking like they are poor for real. Like even if they are in a situation, I had a guy tell me like, oh yeah, like mind you, he's already in my hotel room, and he's
mhm.
like, yeah, what is it when you bust cars? Like you go around and you try to see what's in car, like you're a car theft, or like not a car theft, but you're like you're not stealing the car, but you're trying to find what you're trying to like break into the car to see what's in the car to take.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what he did. And I remember I was just like, I remember him telling me that with a straight face. And I just remember, and mind you, I'm just from Florida. So this is all, I'm just like, I just want to smoke. Like, I hope you don't plot on me. Like, I'm a cool girl. Like, don't steal nothing from me. I have nothing. I just got girl clothes, like from Ross at that. Like,
Yeah.
so don't do me.
That is hilarious. I'm screaming. But that is such a thing, which is why I was laughing so hard because it don't be the main ones that be ready to talk to you. They be so quick and they be having the bag in tow. I'm dying.
Mm-hmm.
I am dying. Okay, let's see. Have you ever been accidentally been the side piece or knowingly been the side piece?
I'm always the side piece, no shade. Like, ever since I became Nova, I've been the side piece in a lot of situations. Like if I go out, I don't know. Everyone seems to have something going on. So for real, who's really single at our age? If we're being for real, like at our age, everyone has somebody that they done kicked it with. Either they're still fucking with, or someone's still obsessed with them, or they still like somebody. Like it's always some type of baggage somewhere somehow. And the guys I'm fucking with, you know, the one I'm fucking with now, I don't know nothing like that, but a lot of other times I've been a side piece and they were basically like like they have like a wife or the baby mama that they stay with and like they're
Yeah.
coming over to my house just to hang out because there's no responsibility over here. But now I'm an adult and I peep that. So now I'm not gonna let a nigga just like come over here for free time because you're trying to escape your responsibilities at home. Like no, not at all. We're not doing that over here because you're definitely you gonna have if you think you gonna not pay over there and not pay over here, you got shit twisted. Like
Okay.
no, you paying over there, you gonna make sure the bills over there handled. And if you over here, oh baby, you definitely make sure that this cash app got touched somehow, some way. Cause baby, you're not just I'm not 19 years old. You're not just hanging out over here and just smoking just to chill on just because you want to because you have nothing else to do. Nope,
Yeah.
not doing that.
No, I definitely feel that, child, because my God, today. That's what a lot of the people like to do these days. They like to just take up space, Lord.
Just want to be
Child.
somewhere, just trying to waste time, just want to be somewhere. Like, I don't got time for that, baby. You go figure out what you're going to do on your board time somewhere else, not over here, though.
Yeah, exactly. No shade. What do you feel
Weirdo.
pressure? Do you feel pressure as a trans woman in this entertainment and reality TV space? Because they have so many preconceived notions of trans women. Number one, and then number two, there's also a lot of men specifically who fetishize us. So do you feel as though there's a lot of pressure you stepping into this space of entertainment?
Yeah, because let's start with the fact that it's already hard for the trans girls to get an opportunity, you know?
Yeah,
And I'm sure I wasn't the only trans girl who auditioned to be a part of this opportunity that I got picked to be a part of. So just in that alone, I'm thinking like, wow, like, yeah. I'm thinking like, wow, I got picked. This is like, a big deal. Especially when I got picked to be part of the show, and I seen it was only Tony coming back. I was like, wow, so I'm gonna be like the only new trans girl representation for this platform this season. Like that was like a big thing for me to go, and it was intimidating too. So I was like, whoo, I'm just this girl from Florida that just moved here. I'm trying to, okay, let's do it. Like, you know, and I'm just like, okay, like, trying to put my best foot forward. And I just was trying to, hope I made a good impression with the fans. Stepping into this, I was like, I hope they love me. I hope, I make people look at trans girls differently in a way where they like them more. Because in my real life, people always tell me that. They'd be like, oh, like, I really don't be fucking with the gays or trans girls, but I fuck with you, Nova. Like, Nova, you so cool. Like, da da da. Like, no, like, so I thought, like, when people watch the show, they were gonna like love me in that way too. Like they're gonna be like, oh, so I was excited because I was like, okay, well, I think people are gonna like me as much as people like me in my real life. So I was hoping for that. So yeah.
Yeah. Period. So, what made you say yes to Chasing Atlanta?
Um, maybe say yeah to Chasing Atlanta. I felt like it was gonna be a great opportunity for me to like show myself in a way where like I wouldn't have to like fight. So like before Chasing Atlanta, like, I was thinking about doing a whole bunch of other TV shows. Like I thought like maybe Now That's TV. I thought, all these other like lower budget networks that were trying to come up with shows like that were off like gonna do shows for trans women. I try to, be a part of all that stuff, but it all always ended up being like very like violent, and we had to like, fight, throw hands. Like they want us,
Yeah.
they wanted. They didn't want to get to know us for real. They just want to see us fight for a laugh. So I overly peeped that, and I was like, I don't want to be someone's joke. Like, I don't want to and then end up like my wig getting ripped off and look crazy. Like, I don't want to do that. So when I seen the Chasing Atlanta stuff, and I decided to do this, I was like, this would be so much better because I'm probably would never have to get into a physical altercation with nobody. I could just be like, messy Nova, cute, show my life, show like what I want to like my upcoming things I have going on, show my relationships. Like, my life is really funny and crazy. Like, so I was like, I think it would be more funner to do Chasing Atlanta than any other show that's out right now because everything else seems to be very violent and, a quick, like weak little thing. And, I wanted something that was gonna be more of a like closer knit, like production where like it's closer, like I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's why I said yeah to Chasing Atlanta because I just thought it was gonna be 10 times better than whatever is going on in the reality world right now.
No, seriously, I get it because that's really all it is right now. It's just like tussling, child. They want people to tear each other's limbs off. Lord God. Granted, I am one of the people who enjoy watching.
Oh,
Not
I
gonna lie.
love watching. I'm always watching too. Trust. I don't
Yes,
want to be the one throwing the
I don't
hands
want to
all the time.
participate. Right. But so going into Chasing Atlanta, you start filming.
Let me see if you can
You
unlock it.
didn't really know anybody within the cast, correct?
I didn't
This
know
was
anybody.
this was like a fresh start. And so of course your first experiences was obviously you meeting Tony. And then as you got ingratiated within the group, you started to create relationships, right? Um, can you tell me if to start off, like currently speaking, who did you really gravitate towards first and where are you standing with some of these people now?
Okay. So when I first met everybody, I did gravitate towards Tony. I gravitated towards Dominique. And Sammy at first. Those three were the ones I was like, okay, I could see myself being friends with these three for sure. Um, the other ones I just didn't know. Like I didn't know how it was gonna go.
Hmm.
But yeah, it wasn't like I didn't like it was like nothing like I like it was like bad where I thought like I wasn't gonna like somebody, for real. Only person I thought I wasn't gonna like for real at first was Noel. That was the
Yeah.
only person I was like, I'm not gonna like him. But
Right.
obviously, as you see later on, I realized I was like a wrong. He's not what I thought he was. So,
Correct.
but at first, definitely off top, it was just off first vibe meeting. It was Tony, Dominique, and Sammy.
Period. So where are you standing at with the cast now as a whole? Who would you say is like your current like close relationships now?
I'm like the people I'm closest with to now is Tony off top. Then it would have to be Dominique and Kendall. Them three. I haven't talked to Dominique and Kendall in like a couple days, maybe, but I talked to Tony like a lot ever since like the middle of the season till now. Me and her have gotten really tight. I wish we had this relationship that we had now, like while we were filming. Because, you know, while we're filming, we're still getting to know each other. You know, time goes by without us seeing each other, you know,
Yeah.
and we're not really the closest yet. So, you know, we're kind of keeping our distance. But, like, now we're so close. And, like, I like love, I literally look at her like a big sister. And, like, I feel like I give little sis energy and she definitely gives like big sis energy. So like I like love that now and I wish we could have been more like that, like that relationship would have been like shown more. But you know it would have been it wouldn't have been real. Now it's real. That's what it is now. It wasn't that months ago when we were filming.
Right.
And then Dominic and Kendall, my bitches down. Like I love them. Like out of all the boys, Dominique is me and Dominique Kendall, I just feel like we're so much alike. Like the way they see things, I see it the same way. The way they think things are funny, I think they're also the same way funny. Like I don't know, like out of everybody on this cast, and I would actually have to say Carl too. Now that I know him more, but you know, just at first, like you know, Dominique Kendall, I just vibe with them, and they just reminded me a lot of the friends from back home in Florida. I don't know if it's because they're from Birmingham. Maybe that's what I'm liking so much. I'm getting like that Birmingham energy, that real southern. So I'm like obsessed. I don't know, but yeah, them out of the boys is them two off the top. So,
Okay. So
but I
pretty
love everyone though. I'm just saying like as of who I'm close with, who I talk to like on a regular basis.
yeah.
Um, who I want to be closer with though, going forward, and who I'm gonna like try to like reach out to more is definitely Carl Trammell and Sammy. You know, me and Sammy had like a little, and Carl and Trammell, we never really had an issue. It's just, you know, the whole click thing during filming. But
Yeah.
Carl is another one where I feel like he's just like me. Like, literally, he low key gives like twin vibes. Like, we're both like hotheads. We're both gonna tell you how it is. We're
Yeah.
both funny. We're both like, I don't know. I see a lot of myself in Carl now, too. I kind of prejudged him the same way I prejudged Noel. So I regret that a lot.
A period. So to backtrack into some of the relationships, as you said, you were very close with Tony. But of course, at the beginning of the season, y'all had a quick little tiff when it came down to the ballroom of it all. I'm gonna call it ballroom gate. Okay.
Mhm.
So you had a moment where, you know, there was a miscommunication
Mhm.
about the whole situation. Um, and y'all fixed it really quickly, which kudos to y'all for that. But at the time, kind of elaborate with us. What was your feeling and thought at at that time when y'all had this disconnect? Like, was there a full on miscommunication, misunderstanding, and how much of this was more or less like TV games?
Um. Okay, so for me, for real, in real life, um. Okay, so a part of it was, I guess, we're on the show, right? So let me say what I think in my head out loud. In real life, if because me too, when I first met Tony, she said something about a ball. You know, she was talking about a ball that she was going to actually in Macon. They actually showed it on the show that Dominique popped up to.
Yeah.
So I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like that was the actual ball that Tony was referring to,
Hmm.
and I knew that went passed by. So by the time I got to the second one, which was the one we saw when I showed up, and I was like, I'm supposed to be the. I guess, I was just like, in real life, I would just be like, child, she probably just got shit going on. Like, she probably forgot to hit me about the invitation or whatever. I'm not, cause I'm thinking about the other ball, not the ball we're at, the other ball making.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we're doing the shows now. Now we're filming, right? And so now I'm like, okay, in real life, I probably wouldn't bring this up because it's not that big of a deal. But you know what? Let me just bring it up,
Yeah.
because we're on a show. So I'm just like, let's bring it up. And then, mind you, um, Tony has said this on your live before too, that we had got messages. So we were filming for like a while
Mm-hmm.
before the ball. We had done a couple scenes, and you know, not saying it was boring, but it just wasn't. You know, we were just all friendly at first. We didn't know each other.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of it like, damn, like I don't want Ondario to edit this and be bored, like out his life. Like we're gonna have to spice it up. So like we had got a message, like I got a message to my phone from an old producer who's not a part of it no more, but it
You
was
can say names.
Matthew had hit me up and wrote me a message and was like, Nova, you're doing great, girl. Da, 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 da. But we need drama. We need messiness. We need this. We need that. Like, like this is a reality show. Like, da 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 da. So I'm like, okay, period, boom. Don't have to tell me twice. Like, let's do it. Like, let's play the reality game. So going into the ball, the ball that you guys see, where I'm like, how trainees do, like messy, yeah, we're filming a show. I feel like, like, like in a way it was real, like it was real. Like those are really like I did feel like I was supposed to walk at some ball or be at some ball that wasn't the one that we're at, or I just felt like, and in real life I wouldn't care, but it's like we're doing a show, so it's like I have to bring it up because we got a message saying we're boring. So it's like let's spice it up. Let's do something because before I did that on episode 2, there was no drama. There was nothing. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm a trouble starter, but I'm just saying if this was the Hunger Games, I would be tribute.
Okay, I live. I live for it. No, but that's some real tea. Which for the people, just so we know, not all producers was aware of said text message. Because
Mhm.
until Tony brought it up and until you brought it up, I had no idea that y'all got a text message to spice it up or do anything. So that's definitely news in general, which is why I
Yeah.
wanted you to be clear on like what was your motives behind that moment, right?
Mhm.
So after y'all had your conversation, y'all cleared it up, right? And so fast forward, now you're getting to know everybody. And then we're getting into because I want to make sure that I'm hitting it correctly. So we're getting to the overall like minutia of the group, right? And you and Dominique and Althea, y'all had um uh excuse me, a fashion show that you were involved with. Y'all walked and y'all did y'all things. Like we could kind of start seeing that there was some synergy going on. Now, when we get to the game night at house, there was obviously some exchanges that happened. So I want you to kind of like take the time to kind of elaborate where we went from going into the party. What was your mindset going into the party? And then also as things went on, how did we lead up to obviously the blow up between you and Althea?
So on my way there, I went with Dominique. I was drunk. I got Don Julio. I was drinking on my way. Me and Dominique were having a time. We really weren't talking about these hoes for real, to be honest. We were kind of just chilling, turning up. Wasn't nothing like a plot or nothing. Like it was pure like ready to go to this party and have fun. Like, we were just it was regular. No intention on nothing. And then when we went to the if when we went to the when we got to the questions and the messy game that we're playing, I'm a messy bitch. So let's play a messy game. I have no problem. And then when she said the ladies comment, I was just like, okay, bitch, I have an issue with you, but I feel like I know how you're trying to say that. And bitch, I will hurt your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like the vibe because I had no intention or even knew me and Alfia would like that. Didn't like that wasn't something I like planned on or plotted and thought I was gonna happen when I got there. It just honestly, you guys saw it happen on camera. Like that was like they weren't reality. That was reality for you. Me and
Yeah.
Alfia was definitely nothing fake about that.
Yeah. So going into that, it was, as you said, the ladies' comment, and the comment you're referring to was at the island where all of y'all were chatting about
Mhm.
some things, and then it came up about the bacterial vaginosis, right? And you made the comment of saying like, "Oh, I don't have to worry about that. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that kind of thing." And her response was like, "Yes, ladies have to worry about it, right?"
Mhm.
Um, this is going to be kind of a two-parter. So I'm gonna hit the first part where because in there was a live, I believe, where Althea was explaining that in her mind she wasn't really intentionally trying to say something, but she did think that you were making that statement to kind of be funny.
Mhm.
Which in case you felt like her response to you was also being funny, right?
Mhm.
So in this question is because you said that you came, inebriated. Do you feel as though if you were like maybe a tad bit sober or whatever, do you feel like it would have hit you the same? Um, or do you feel like it was an intentional thing? Because I know you kind of, in a way, you probably took it that way, hence what happened afterwards. But do you feel like that would have came out the same way if you wasn't already, turned?
Yeah, I feel like the Don Julio had a lot to do with it because I feel like I wouldn't even been as outspoken as I was when I was playing. Because you could tell my personality was a little bit more energetic in that moment because I was more like you could just I could tell because I know how I am because I'm a little bit more like like I just want to be cute in the corner, nobody my business.
Yeah.
Just want to be cute. So like that, I remember that I was a little bit more energetic and more talkative. So I definitely feel like the drinks had something to do with it for sure. But
Hmm.
like I said, the comment was the comment, and I can't even. That's why I feel like the whole situation was blown up because I feel like as much as I was being funny with being like, oh, that's something y'all gotta deal with. And she hit me back with the trying to be funny. Yeah, she must have. She's this. It was. I feel like a little bit of transphobia in what she had said, but I'm thinking, oh, bitch, let's. Okay, we finna. Okay,
It's
period.
gonna be
Like
a
we
thing, yeah.
we finna battle it out now. Like okay, cool. And that's how I'm thinking it because she was so quick with it. So I'm thinking like, okay, she's okay. Okay, because that's how my drunk mind was thinking because she was so fast with the yeah as in ladies. I was like, oh, like okay, we going there. All right, let's do it. So that's when I was like, okay. So when I got the next card and it said who needs to take a shower or whatever, I'm in my head like I know I'm gonna say Althea because I'm not gonna say no one else just because of the comment she said earlier. Um, did I think I was gonna say the gay for pay thing? I really didn't think I was gonna say that until like probably like 5 minutes before I said it. That's when I like popped to my head again. I was like thinking about how am I gonna when it's my turn to say my card. I was like, how am I gonna make it to this bitch because I still gotta get her back for that lady's comment. Bitch, it ain't over.
Uh-huh.
So that's basically I was like, you're not stinky, but since your baby daddies gave her pay, maybe you should, like. And you could just tell, like, I'm kind of like figuring it out as I'm saying it too. Like, if you really know me, that wasn't a prepared read. It was like a as I'm going, like word vomit type of thing. It's being for real.
Hmm.
So Yeah, that's what ended up happening. Did I think she was gonna be as emotional as she was? No. I thought she was gonna be more like gag a little bit, but definitely not like emotional, like start crying. And like I didn't think it was gonna get any of that because if I thought that was the reaction, like if I wanted that type of reaction, I would have talked about her mom or something. Like I would have talked about her mothering skills, the mothering skills I don't even know about. Just making shit up just to get someone mad. Like the gay for pay thing, because of how she brought it up at the bar, I would have never in a million years thought like she would have acted so emotionally invested and dramatic to that what I said because I thought it wasn't that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
But hey,
Yeah. So going into it, because as you said, you didn't really know that her reaction was going to give that, right? Because as you said a little minute ago, like as she had already hit you back with the ladies comment and you already processed it, because as I said all the time, perception can be reality. You processed it like, oh, she's throwing a little shot or whatever, right? So in your head it's like, oh, we about to have a cute little 1-2 battle out. When you
mhm.
saw that, because I want you to think about it in that moment, and then of course the reaction to what happened, but then also fast forward into today, right? um in that moment, you didn't know that she was going to react that way, but she did. Was it an alarming thing for you? And then also looking into the reaction of the people who watched it, do you were you surprised at their reactions as well?
Well, I was definitely shocked in the moment with Althea because I was like not expecting it to turn up as quickly as it did as soon as I said that. Like, cause as soon as I said that, it was about 10 seconds before it was like bing bing, like So I was not expecting that, but the reaction to it, I definitely wasn't expecting. Like the whole time I'm filming, I guess you could say I'm ignorant, or I guess you could say I'm slow. I don't, you know, I'm not thinking the audience is gonna think Nova is just coming against her because she's a girl born with a pussy, and that's the main reason why Nova is coming at her because she doesn't have a pussy. Like I
Hmm.
was like, what? Like that's the first thing you guys go to? Like that wasn't on my agenda board at all. Like like I'm not jealous of women for having a pussy. Like I'm not. Like I don't know. So the reaction of that situation was shocking because it as if it was like that moment defined my whole character for the rest of the show. Like the audience didn't get off my neck. And mind you, I'm not gonna pretend like I was insane because I didn't give them much to work with as far as me being just insane, because I was so shady. But yeah, I definitely was shocked at the reaction because, like I said, I'm thinking we're just battling out like two girls. I'm not thinking the audience is gonna look at me like some fucking man attacking a woman. I wasn't thinking that. So, but I was wrong.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay. So here's the thing. I think one of the things we want to acknowledge here in this particular part of it is obviously you can basically acknowledge as well as apologize for a reaction based off of what you didn't expect to happen, right? Whereas you can just go on and just act like it didn't happen. If I'm making sense here. So what I'm getting at is like fast forward when we get to the lemon squeeze. Um y'all had some back and forth in the DMs. I know y'all had like a group chat, I believe, and there were things that were said in between that. But getting into the lemon squeeze, what made you not be as open to completely clearing the air in reference to Althea? Because you was able to clear the air with Noel, even though Noel wasn't 100% aware that y'all had an issue, but you had feelings towards him. What was it about the interaction with Althea that you couldn't do the same exact thing?
She was late once again, hours late. And then when she comes in the room, she's acting like she's a fucking undiscovered superstar. She's like, ah, mind you, with the bald head. Are you guys ready for me? Bitch, we've been ready for you. We've been here for like almost 2 hours. So now there's no making up with me today. I would have made
Mm-hmm.
up with you an hour ago. But now since you had me here waiting for you to have this like fabulous entrance, no, we're not gonna make up today. We could try
Mm-hmm.
again tomorrow when you're on time. But yeah, that's really was it. Cause like mind you, like it wasn't that serious for me. So we could have easily, if she would have been there and not had us waiting. If she would have been there from the beginning, I probably would have never thought about the Noel thing. Let's start there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably never thought about what I said about no, or I would have never, because it was just the fact that she wasn't there. So I was like, that's really what it's petty. It's all petty to me. It's nothing is ever that serious or deep for me. So that was the main reason why the lemon squeeze we didn't do a makeup there, because she was late and she came in with a bigger than the program type of attitude, and I didn't like it. It was not cute to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna add on to this because to add context, right? Because it comes off as you said. You took her energy as her being, like bigger than the program, right? But as she ended up informing us at the reunion, was that she had a conversation with the former producer Justin Diego, and in that time frame, because it's kind of leading into that time frame, she came back into the group with a preconceived notion that everybody was trying to paint her out to be something that she wasn't. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, maybe that could also contribute to why the energy that she was given came off a tad bit abrasive or maybe argumentative. Because aggressive is such a tired word. I feel like everybody has a tendency to use aggressive with women that it's not really, you know, necessary. But you can say that you could come off as argumentative, right? Like if somebody is coming off with the energy of like, hey, I'm ready to defend myself, whoever want it can get it, right? And as you were saying that came off to you in that way. Even if it did though, because I want you to sit here and think about it like this. One thing is you can't control another person. You can only control you. And I'm not even speaking on the worldly part of it because we're going to get into that. More or less on your personal well being, regardless of how somebody else is doing or feeling or acting, you only have control over you. And even in spite of how she was doing, I would have honestly recommended you really having an open dialogue in that conversation, even if y'all got back and forth. If y'all had a little back and forth, there should have been some form of conclusion there. I felt like both of y'all had room to kind of like sit and talk, and there were so many opportunities to really do that. But as we were saying earlier, like perception can be reality, and both of y'all had a certain perspective of each other at this point that made it difficult for y'all to really see or hear each other at that point. So I just wanted to throw that out there to at least, give a little like context and also like a little more of a nuance to the
Mhm.
situation.
Yeah, I definitely feel like going forward in my adultness, where I'm like now in my 30s, not a spring chicken. I definitely have to like be more of an adult in situations. I can't always be like a petty bitch, you know? Like in that moment would have been the perfect time to just be real. Even though, like you said, like she came in late and whatever she thought, I could have like been like, because everything that happened this season could have been prevented so much sooner, probably like episode 5. If we could have just sat down and gone over it. But that's not reality, you know?
Hmm.
That wasn't what happened. So what happened was we were beefing all season.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
can't take it back. Do I wish I can? Yeah, I do wish we could have had a coming to Jesus moment way sooner, where maybe even before Miami, where she would have felt comfortable to come to Miami and not felt like it was going to be up and stuck. But that's not what happened. So,
yeah.
I mean, can't rewrite history.
You can't. You absolutely can't.
Right.
But it's always just good to kind of at least like go back, revisit some of these thoughts, and realize like, hey, this definitely could have went differently with this direction. And I think that that's what a lot of people in this season kind of missed the mark on. Like just how certain things can maneuver, but everything is a learning experience.
Yeah, this
Um,
definitely was the biggest learning experience as far as like, how I'm perceived and like my attitude towards certain things. I'm just like, wow, like You know, a lot of people don't get the blessing of look like witnessing their self on TV playback. You know, and I'm like, wow, like mm, I got some things to change with my attitude for sure.
Okay. So going back into the lemon squeeze, there was some inflammatory statements that you made that definitely upset some people. And it was taken off wrong. So I would say, can we talk about the red bone statement? Can we talk about the I hate women statement or I hate you hoes, that kind of statement? I want you to really discuss where that came from and do you feel that way truly or was this just a moment of ignorance?
Yeah, it definitely was a moment of ignorance. Mind you, I come from Florida where we listen to Boosie and Webby. And, you know, right before I pulled up, I remember I was listening to Two Red Bones Kissing in the Backseat, then Two That Attract Me. I remember I was listening to that. So the Red Bone thing was already like in my head, I guess, from the song. So in that moment when she was like, you're so jealous or whatever she said, like I was like, child, what the fuck do I have to be jealous of? Like, bitch, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, you know?
Hmm.
And do I wish I didn't say it? Yeah, I wish I didn't say it because I should never, even though being in the skin you're in, you should be very proud of. There's a way to be proud about it without being like ignorant, you know? And I feel
Hmm.
like saying stuff like red bone and yellow bone and just light skin versus dark skin, all that is just ignorant. You know, I work with blood every day and every type of color comes into my booth when I gotta fucking mess with their blood. All of us bleed red. So colors, all that stuff, it don't matter. So I just feel like in that moment, it was just an ignorant comment,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Even though I do love my skin color, you know, but I feel like even if I was, like I said, you know, if I was Althea's skin color, I would love me being a chocolate woman. You know, I just like that's just me. That's a Nova thing. I'm just always gonna say whatever I am, I love 10 times than just to be obnoxious in the moment when I'm upset. But you
Yeah.
know, in real life, when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, ooh, that was cringe. And I can see how that can offend other people, even if I'm not trying to be offensive, you know?
Hmm.
And that's part of growing. You don't, you're always gonna, on a platform like this, you're gonna offend somebody at some point. Not everyone's not gonna take not get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
And the best, and I feel like what makes me is the fact that I really don't say stuff to hurt people in a way where like I'm really trying, unless I'm trying to. And I feel like people who know me can know the difference when they see me activated compared to when I'm just talking and I'm just,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. And people have to give everyone grace, you know. Some people are just, you know, just diarrhea of the mouth sometimes and just be saying shit when they're mad. And
Hmm.
sometimes it just sounds worse than what it really is. I'm trying to say. I'm just like right now I'm getting tongue tied because I'm just like this conversation and this topic really stresses me out because it's like the last thing I ever thought in life would people would ever label me as a colorist, like
Hmm.
ever, because like it's just not in me ever. Like I just never thought that would ever be a word to describe me ever.
Hmm.
So when get asked these types of questions, it does bother me and it almost makes me nervous to almost like respond because I don't want to say the wrong thing because I just feel like me being a Caribbean woman and you know being light skinned and it's almost like certain things work against me when I say certain things because of what I look like. So it's like I have to watch what I say because I'm not a dark skinned woman and I'm not like I don't know. Like it's just like I don't know. It's like I don't know. Cause I don't say things to be offensive ever. And I'm not a colorist. I love everybody. Bitch, if I am a colorist, I don't like fucking white people. No, I'm
No screaming.
So I'm just playing. I'm just playing, but I'm just saying, like, like colors to dark people or black people or green people, purple people. It's just not me. I don't see stuff like that ever. So
Mm-hmm.
I just hate it. I really hate that that's what ended up being a topic this season. I could have dealt with me being evil, messy, all that stuff. I think honestly the worst thing I was called this season was the colors. And um uh a person who like just hates all women. I think those are probably like the two most worst things I was called this whole season. Everything else I could take. The transphobia, the me being having no chase, like everything they said, like pay it. The colorist and calling me a woman, like just I hate all women, that seriously bothers me because that's like the furthest thing from the truth.
Mm-hmm. I feel that. But you can also understand, because I think it's just the importance of it all is people to understand where your background is and who you were raised and birthed from. You know what I'm saying? Like as you said, you have a Jamaican dad. And so with that comes an understanding that yes, on the outer end, it may not seem as though I'm a part of the community, but I am. But then the statements that you made can also kind of counteract your placement, and if that makes sense. You know what I'm
No, it
saying?
does
It's
make
like,
sense because a person that is dark skinned can say the same things and be just as offenseful. Like there's that one remember that one girl who was on Catfish who like she's like was saying how she hates basically she thinks she's like a white girl and she thinks she's like she went viral a couple years ago, but like
yeah.
same thing. She was a dark skinned black woman and she was saying the most ignorant things about her skin color. So it's like, it's just mm.
Yeah. But I just wanted you to have the opportunity to really explain yourself, because again, everybody has had a certain perception of you for all of this time. And you also, which kudos to you, you have been on very few lives, and very few explanations. And so with that comes this is an opportunity to really clear the air and get people to understand that although you said something that came off, less tactful to some. The intention behind it didn't meet what the result was. You know what I'm saying? And so I really appreciate you just, being candid and clear with that because, as a black woman, I wanted to also make sure that I spoke on those things with you. Because although at the moment I didn't see it in that way, right? I didn't see it in that way. I still am a person who got to understand that with life and worldly things, you always have room to grow and also learn. And so I have to be open to what the world is saying as well. And if people are being offended by something, I can't help but, take heed to that and be like, hey, you know what? Maybe I need to edit some things about myself or some things that I may say, right? But that's not me trying to take away from who I am internally or change my genuinity in any capacity. It's just the reality of what the world is. Because unfortunately, the moment we woke up was the moment things have gotten hypersensitive. Things have gotten a little bit more difficult to be. Because I tell people all the time, freedom of speech ain't free. Freedom of speech ain't free. We want it to be free, but the reality is we can't always say everything that comes to our mind. And that's just the unfortunate part, but it's the reality, right? So let's get into the things, getting back into the chasing Atlanta of it all.
Yeah.
Um, of
Because
course, you had your things in reference to, you know, Althea and Tony. But with the guys, you built a certain relationship where you called them the elites, right? When it came down to the elites, what was that moment in time where you felt like, hey, these are my bitches. We need a group name and we're gonna move forward with that. What was that moment?
I was actually in this very spot, and I remember I was just talking to my therapist, child. You guys, that was the real moment. I was just
Yes.
talking to my therapist, and when I started talking about the group, literally, the word elites came out that moment. Like I never. I just was like, we have the elites and we have the extras. Like, like that's just came out. I don't know. It wasn't a pre-planned thought. That was the name I decided to go with. And honestly, if we're being even more honest, I feel like it came from in the back of my head. The reason why, like, that was like a subconscious in me, because I remember on Bad Girls Club season 4 with Natalie, she said that almost something similar too. She was like, I remember something where she was like the elites and the extras. So I feel like in this moment, that's kind of like where I was coming with it. Like, we have the elites and we have the extras, and not by saying they're extras as they're ugly or don't nothing going on. It's just like me and my bitches are giving main and they're giving extra co-stars. Like, it was a petty moment, messy, just trying to just talking shit.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, just because I named us elites, just like I said at the reunion, they still named us something else. So if that moment I would have been like, um, we have DC 6. Everyone would be in the comments like DC 6, but I didn't, I decided to say elites at that moment.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't feel like I'm wrong for naming it something else. Like I did with, like I said, 3 and I didn't put myself in a group chat. If we're being for real, the main group chat on Instagram, I exited it after me and Althea got into it. Like I was over it because I didn't want to keep going back and forth with her and it being in front of the group, like a thing. So I just exited the group chat. A couple days later, I was in a new group chat. It was named DC 6. Do
Yeah.
I like the name DC 6? No. So in that moment, when we started talking about it, I wasn't going to say DC 6. So I'm just first thinking in my head, elites.
I live because that was that moment you brought it up in your sit down in your house, but then of course in your confessional you was bringing it up at Ken's birthday party. Now
Yeah.
when you were at the birthday party, and there was this conversation about the division of the group. When you saw that Tramiel, Althea, and Carl weren't present, and Tony, did you kind of started to click in like, is this a division or anything like that, or were you just simply in the moment is like, hey girl, I'm with my girls, like we having a good time?
Yeah. Just real lighthearted. Not that serious. Because mind you, at this point, I had no issue with Tony, Tramel, Carl. Only person I had an issue with was Alfie at this time. And only reason, like I said, it was very just lighthearted. These are it was just surface, very surface shade. I did not think it was gonna be this draw in the sand for the rest of the season. If I would have known that statement was gonna be the draw in the sand, like I
Yeah.
would be like, I would have watched it. But nonetheless, I don't take it back at the same time because it was fun. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm. Period. Okay, so let's see here. When you move forward and the group is obviously having their issues, you have the Ken versus Tremels of it all, the Ken versus um Carl of it all. And then you're getting to Miami. Now Miami was a hot moment. Like that trip was hot from beginning to end. Because I'm gonna fast forward to obviously the big blow up where if you saw, which in case you wasn't there yet at the time, but Dominique and Carl got into it first. And then by the time all of y'all got together was when the blow up happened between Q and Carl and Ken and Ken and Q were basically checking out Fia on the phone. Like it was a lot happening in that moment. Like were you entertained? Because the thing was, it was like the entire time throughout the process, it felt like you and you and Althea were obviously the main topic of discussion and the main issue in the group, allegedly. But now you're in Miami and now you're seeing all these other things that were kind of like in the surface realm of things now unfolding and coming to the front. What was your thought process in that moment?
Yeah. So on the ride back to the house, Dominique was really upset for what Carl said. Like that wasn't fake. Like he
Mhm.
was upset. There was no cameras there. He was upset that the whole slapping bitches and stuff like that. Like that was real. But I was so ready to go because I knew I had like not my own space and like no window in my room. So like the first thing when I came back to the house, I just went straight into the house to that little closet room. And I tried to take a little nap. I was over it. And then they
Mm.
text me and they're like, come to the next house because they're arguing. So I rush over there. And as soon as I open the door, I see Q about to go over to the couch like to Carl. And I'm just like, oh my God, like fucking I don't want to see them fight, especially I don't want to see Q get bopped up. He's so small. So I'm just
Yes.
like, let me try to. It was just a lot. And I ended up getting hit with a fucking boot.
Yes.
And that's kind of what it wasn't fun after I got hit with the boot because that was really, it really hurt. Like, and that's not even me being dramatic. That's not even me being like, for real, that really hurt. And it caused me like really a lot of pain that night and the next couple days after that. Like, it was like sore. It was hurt. Every time I breathe, I would feel like the pain. Like, and that's not me being dramatic. Like, that's me being so for real. So when then I was just, mm.
You was over it.
I was so over it, child.
In the interaction though, who did you understand more in the Q versus Carl of it all? Because at this time you and y'all in the elites were still pretty good. You have already now, when you had your studio session with Tremel and Carl, you now already obviously are trying to connect with, you know, them. At that point though, whose side were you kind of leaning towards more?
Honestly, if I'm being honest, I was leaning towards Q because I didn't understand. Mind you, going into Miami, I was trying to figure out just with the rest of the elites
Mm-hmm.
what was the rock that was being thrown. So I was like confused. So in the moment, I'm not gonna lie, like I was kind of like on Q's side because I'm like, what's going on? Watching it, I totally am on Carl's side because I understand now. But like
Yeah.
in the moment, I was just confused. Like I didn't know what was going on. Mind you, because you don't see everything. I can't see. I can't catch everything. I'm so caught up with what's going on in Althea. So I'm not really too much like in the drama of what's going on for real, unless like they're telling me or I'm finding out about it in the moment. As you can see at the reunion part 3, when I'm finding out about the Q and Tremel stuff, I'm gagged. I had no idea that Q was having people take pictures of Tremel. I had no idea that Q threatened to kill me at the premiere. Like, those are things I had no idea about, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a crazy time. So after Miami, because we're going to get into those things that you were referring to. Obviously, after Miami, we're now wrapping up the season. Now we're getting to the reunion. Um, in the reunion, obviously everybody was waiting on, more or less anticipating on you and Althea's interaction. But what kind of surprised everybody, however, was you and Noel's altercation. Y'all, disagreement. Explain to us in that moment, where was your mindset with that? Because it did, even on camera, it did look like you kind of, like, wait a minute, bitch. It kind of felt like when you said the statement of the shenanigans of it all, it felt like you were like, ooh, wait a minute. Like, is she coming for me? Tell us what you was thinking.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, I'm saying, I should have said Shanae, man. I'm thinking it's funny. I'm thinking I'll just say light shade, like, you know? And then I look at Noel, and he's just like so serious. So then it
Yeah.
activated me in 2.5 seconds because I'm like, all right, bitch. One thing and two things for sure. I'm not no one's punk. So we gonna battle, bitch. Let's go. Now I'm a bit now it's your mama. Now you really look like Shanae and Ho. Like, like I was gagged because I didn't think the shenanigan comment warranted the whole red roof and the whole. And mind you, that's him doubling down because he kind of already said that in his confessional. Like, I'm sure Nova has sold more pussy than she has books. So you constantly have this thing in your head where like Nova sells pussy. Nova's the lady of the night. So it's like, okay, like that's a constant, joke.
Hmm.
So it's not funny. So
That was
That's
way
like I'm
back then.
serious.
Yeah, that makes sense. So when y'all have this moment, like, because we're gonna fast forward into part three in a little bit, but when y'all have this moment, um, where do you feel like the energy stemmed from? Because there wasn't too many interactions with y'all via the show. So what was a moment maybe off the show that maybe stemmed from that? Maybe why he had this kind of like slight animosity with you?
All right, so I got two ways I feel about this. So I'm gonna give grace and say, that's how I really felt. He really felt offended that even though he already knew about the Medea stuff, I guess he didn't know about the Tin Man comment. So maybe he did really feel away, and maybe he did. Let's give grace where it's due. But on the other side of me, I could say maybe people just wanted their moment. Maybe people weren't the talk at all, and maybe bitches just wanted to, you know, have their moment. I don't. That's the best thing I can say without being too shady. Because yeah, that's the best I can say without being too shady. Because, like I said, I didn't think me and Noah had was that serious.
Hmm.
So the energy, the serious energy to me, it was just like, of course, but okay, whatever.
Yeah, it
But
was.
like
It
I said,
was.
that's how I could really feel. Maybe he really did feel away.
Yeah,
But a part of me says a little bit gave wanted a moment.
yeah. When you and Althea finally had y'all interaction, because I'm a piece it from part one and two to also going into part three. So when y'all had y'all interaction, can you hear me?
Mhm.
Okay, I just had to make sure because it kind of glitched for a second. When y'all had your interaction or whatever, um, where do you feel like the the receival of y'all conversation as far as like the masses is concerned? Because y'all did have a very good dialogue, which, shout out to Dominique Morgan. I felt like she was doing very well at facilitating that space with y'all and trying to have that conversation. Um, it's Where do you feel like the world didn't receive your accountability or statements? Why do you feel like they did it? Because you even opened up and was very vulnerable. You got emotional. But when you were watching the show and there were people who were watching it, they didn't really believe you. Where do you think that comes from?
People just want to believe a narrative, and when they're stuck on a narrative of a person, they just want to believe that narrative. And especially me being a trans woman, a lot of people want see, I told you moment. Um, so I feel like that's what it like comes down to when it comes to like me, because I'm not a crier. I don't cry ever. Okay, like n- getting a tear to come from my motherfucking face is probably one of the most hardest things to do ever in life, because it's
Mhm.
two things. One, pride. A big part of it is pride. I don't want to cry in front of somebody. And another part of it is two, I don't want to look like I'm woe is me. Like, let's give her pity. No, that's why I can talk about the most traumatic things and I like with a straight face and talk regular and not have that much emotion about it because I've been through so much. So a lot of things really don't get me emotional. But in that moment, I just got emotional. And I feel like what really got me emotional was not even talking about, because a lot of people thought I was getting emotional thinking about my best friend's mom who took me in. No, I got emotional just thinking about my mom and dad because it's just like when I think about how ugly it used to be, it really gets me up emotional, because who wants to have that type of relationship with their mom and dad? So in that moment, I just like remembered like the reason that day almost. Like when I said like when my parents kicked me out and my mom she let me be who I was and my mom and dad were acting how they were acting towards me. Like I remember being 16 and 17 just like wondering like why do my parents hate me so much? Like why? Like what is it about me, you know? And I almost feel like in a way it prepared me for the hate that I received in these comments. And maybe that's why I'm so unbothered because like I've always felt hate coming towards me somehow, some way. So I've learned to like deal with it. But I can't tell you the real reason why people thought I was being fake or it wasn't real because that was probably the realest moment I ever had on Chasing Atlanta. Like that right there when I got choked up and I started crying because I'm a crybaby. I don't cry. I don't want to cry. I could say how I want. I could talk. I could say it and not get emotional. So I don't know. All I think I can say is I'm a trans and people want to stick to a narrative and they don't want to like me. They just want a reason to hate me. So
Mm,
they're not gonna give me grace because that goes against the fact that they already don't want to like me from the jump.
yeah. Yeah, and then I think that's where we get into the conversation about the hate that came along with the situation this season. Because we've talked about this whole situation in Ignasium, but it's not being received, right? And that's where we have to start questioning the intention behind why it's not being received. Is it not being received because of something that we are doing, or is it not being received because it's a choice that the outside world is choosing to do, right? And so when it came down to a lot of the things, which it goes back to what I was asking you earlier about the accountability factor on what do you see if you've done that could have contributed to certain things. I'm fast forwarding to now where it's like you have acknowledge that some of the things that you said have been, out of order, or, you spoke out of, anger or frustration. And even in that situation, people still didn't receive it because, again, we don't know what the reason would be, outside of two particular options, right? But as I said before, it's like you have acknowledged that these things have happened and transpired. Um, but there was a lot of hate that was still coming. And we can differentiate the hate because a lot of people don't realize that we're not always talking about every commenter, right? Like if somebody want to sit here and say, my wig giving Tyler Perry, I ain't mad at that. So, read me, talk your shit. But then when you start speaking about, oh, this is a man, like you're looking very masculine, or there's features about you that is still of a boy, that's where we have to kind of like starting to really start asking some questions, right? So when you started seeing all of these things where it was like a lot of transphobia, a lot of transmisia, um, because you haven't spoken about it, how did that honestly made you feel? Even though you said like it didn't really affect you, that's not, you're so used to dealing with so much that it's kind of like you brush it off. But real tea girl, like I really want you to tell us what it really did to you for real, like how it really affected you.
Mm, it just like affected me in a way where it made me realize how um hmm, I just feel like in a way it just made me realize like how harder it is to be a trans woman. Like that's really I feel like the biggest thing I took from it.
Yeah.
Like wow, like that's basically it. Like I didn't like to see the comments. Like I said in the beginning, I wanted people to like me. I wanted people to be like, "Oh, I fuck with Nova. Nova funny. If Nova's cute. Nova like she da 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 da." So when I didn't see no comments like that at all, and it was just 100% like just hate, get her off the show. Like why is she here? Nova no chase, like all that stuff. It definitely made me feel like I had to prove something, which made me in a way, I'm kind of grateful because if I probably didn't get all much hate as I did, I probably wouldn't have been as fast as I was to execute the book and the website as much as I did at that time because
Mhm.
when I was getting all that hate around episode 4 and 5, and they were like just saying, "Oh my God, like she hates women and she's colorist and she's like, why is she on the show? She has no chase, like da da da. Why is she here? Da 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 da." Da." I was just like, "Oh my God, like," and they were making fun of the fact that they're like, "Oh, Nova, no book, no children's book." They're trying to say like, "Where is it?" and stuff. Like, "Oh, it's not like I'm just talking up my ass." And I had the book done. I showed the book to Dominique, like the rough version of it, like while we were filming. Like, that was the first thing I said to Althea. Like, I'm writing a children's book, like da 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 da. So, but I had no idea on how to, even when we got to Dominique's grooming session, when he was doing the grooming thing, showing us how to groom and stuff on the dog. I remember I had was seeing the guy had printed out like these book things there. And I was like, "Oh my God, like, I wonder how he did this." Cause like I have my book ready. I just don't know how to get it printed and have it like make sense to like, like how the whole business part of it works once I'm done creating. Like, how do I, you know? And I kind of like was like, I didn't like, I cared about it, but I was like, I guess, So when I started to get the hate, I was like, I need to lock in. I gotta lock in and figure out how I'm gonna execute this shit because I don't want people to be like, "Oh, Nova was just on this show to be messy." Like, no, Nova's on this show to promote her businesses and show you bitches what the fuck she has going on too. Like, yeah, I could be messy, but I also am here chasing just as much as these other bitches. Like, I might not right now be picking up a microphone and going on the stage right at this moment. But I do have my fucking books that I'm writing, and one of them is done. So you know what? I'm gonna put full force on just putting that out and creating my website and just putting shit into motion for myself. Um, so people can't say like I'm just Nova, no chase. So I feel like in a way the comments made me better because it pushed me to fulfill what the fuck I was talking about in the beginning of the show. Like, I didn't want the show to end and me not have nothing still. And then be like, "Well, Nova," I mean, they're still saying it, but at least I could now, like, say back, like, "Well, bitch, go on my website and go buy my children's book. Since it's a coloring book, go get it." I have a website, I have the merch. Like, everything is set up perfectly. And I feel like none of that would have happened if I didn't get so much hate in the beginning and so much, "Why is she here? Nova's not chasing." As much as the other ones. I wanted to prove like I am chasing, like I'm here in Atlanta. I have dreams. I have aspirations on what I want, how I see my life and how I want to be. Like, I might not have showcased it the best way I knew how this season, but I definitely am chasing in Atlanta. Definitely. So I feel like the comments, they weren't nice, but it pushed me to finish the shit that I needed to do.
Absolutely. And kudos to you, girl. I would say, like, so you got to turn your pain into purpose, in the words of Dr. Jackie, right? Turning your pain into purpose, number one, but then number two, and I can also agree that those comments definitely fueled you doing what you wanted to do and needed to do. But always remember that you're only in competition with yourself and you don't need
Mhm.
validation from anybody. Regardless of the nastiness that goes on, there is no validation necessary as far as like giving it to anyone else. You are the only person that needs to validate you. But also, as we said before, you use that to fuel you getting into what you've been wanted to do, and
Mhm.
everything comes in divine timing. So kudos to you for even doing it.
Thank you, thank you. I didn't want to, go into a corner and cry like some other cast members on previous, you know, shows. They've seen the comments and, want to shave their head off and have meltdowns. And I didn't want to be that. I wanted to rise on top. So I feel like that's what I try to do. I try to block out. I didn't really look at them. I try not to even, let it bother me too much. I just try to continue working and put forward what I wanted to showcase. And, that's what I feel like I did.
Yes. And you did, indeed, you did. You did. You finally got your book out, Supernova in Space. Give us a little tea on that book and what made you want to create that book.
Okay, so I've always been into science and writing. Those are always my two favorite subjects. But not so much science, more of space. I've always been into space. Everything space. I don't know. Or I could be on my phone, like, on a whole rabbit hole of space stuff. Like, I just always been in. So when I was writing the book, when I was thinking about a concept for my children's book that I want to create, I was like, I definitely want to do like a female character, almost like a Dora the Explorer, but I want it to be based in like space world, like where she can go to all these different planets. It can be educational, almost like a reading rainbow moment, um, where she could go to these different places and maybe meet characters and it's just, I just wanted to implement Dora the Explorer and space in a way. So I feel like it's Supernova in space is like that for me. Like almost like Dora never went to space. And I loved Dora the Explorer when I was younger. So I feel like Supernova is that for me. Like it's giving me the opportunity to relive the kind of love I have for Dora the Explorer and create a new version of that, but it'd be totally different, but it's in space. And she has three friends, Twinkle, Mooney, and Comet, and you know, they're so interesting, like Twinkle's a girl star. She's like very like she's like sensitive, and then we have Comet, who's like a comet. He has like rainbow flames hairstyles, and he's like the almost like the leader in the group. He's like almost he's like the closest one to Supernova as far as like in the leader pack. He's like the second one right under her. And then
Mhm.
we got Mooney, which is the cute like little. He's almost like Twinkle in a way, like the star. Like he's a baby. He walks around with a plush. He's very um uh almost like an Eeyore character from Winnie the Pooh, kind of
Yeah.
like sad all the time. Almost like you gotta try to make him happy, but not too depressed like Eeyore. Just kind of when I was making Mooney, I wanted him to kind of have like a Eeyore kind of presence. Like
Yeah.
not so depressed, but like not so energetic as Comet and Twinkle. I wanted him to be more like monotone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I love them. Like I really feel like I made a really like great like cast of characters. And Supernova is, I feel like Supernova is me as if I was a child. Like, the real like Nova. If I was a girl kid, how I used to look at Dora the Explorer. I feel like Supernova is like me, like how I would see myself in like a cartoon, like younger version.
Yeah.
So, she was created as she was a created after an explosion of a supernova because a star gets so big and it blows up into a supernova and creates a whole bunch of stars. So she was one of those stars out of the explosion that ended up being an actual baby superhuman form in space. So she ends up saving and helping people just like Dora. She's the protagonist in this whole my whole little storyboard of it, and I love it. I want to keep on doing it. I want to create way more. I want this to be like a full series. I'm even now thinking like I want to make this an animation. Like the books are fine, but like I want to find someone who could make this into like an actual show that I could pitch somewhere. Like
I love
like
that.
I'm just thinking so because I feel like it's such a good concept. Like it gives kids some knowledge of space, and it's a cute little fun stories mixed in there with that you could. It's just I don't know. I love it. It's
Yeah.
something I be working on all the time, and it's so fun for me. It just literally fills a really big void
Yeah.
with me not being, I guess, like a mom and stuff. I guess it feels like a void knowing that like I'm still kind of like helping kids in a way that I could try to at least by giving them some type of education and space that they probably don't know.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely amazing. And tell the people where they can get this book.
Right now, they can get it on my Shopify store, which is nova.bangs.boutique.shopify.com. Links in my bio on Instagram at I am Nova Banks, along with like all my other merch. I got t-shirts, I got candles, I have what else do I have? Um, I have a whole bunch of other shit. And I'm like, I have other shit I haven't even dropped on the website yet that I'm
Yeah.
working on. Gonna start working on putting some workout clothes on my website. So I think that's gonna be fun. I just have to like before I publish it, I'm waiting for the products to come to my house first because I want to make sure it looks good before I send it out to anybody. But real cute, workout, sports bras and leggings, like that say my brand on it, just so I could wear and other girls could wear if they want to. From what I hear, I haven't got it yet, but from what I hear, the material is very, very, very good. So I can't wait for it to come so I can actually try it on and then click publish on my website to show everybody else.
I love it. I love it. Well,
Hmm.
before we get into the final couple questions, I want to do a quick little speed round, right? So I'm gonna go down all of season 7 cast, and you give me one word that would describe them. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So first up, Tony.
Mother.
Period.
Hmm.
Dominique.
That bitch.
Kendall.
That is bitch.
Tramel.
Tramel. Grown and sexy.
Love that. Althea.
Emotional.
Period. Ooh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, Sammy.
Um, mm, nice. He's nice.
Q.
Mhm. Dramatic.
And
Mhm.
Noelle.
Shenane. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Noel. Um, funny.
And last but not least, Carl.
And Carl. If Noel's funny, Carl is fucking hilarious.
I live for Carl, honey.
Hmm.
So, getting into the final pieces of the conversation, we've talked about a lot today. We definitely, I feel like we definitely siphoned through all the things of the things, and your Chasing Atlanta journey, getting to know you a little bit better. Um, After everything, who can you say Nova Banks is today?
Nova Banks is a strong ass bitch. She's an official author. She is an official business entrepreneur woman.
Yes.
She is now a reality star, thanks to you guys. And she is somebody who I hope people can say at the end of it all that I was unstoppable.
I love that. I love that, bitch. You eat that. You ate that down. Okay, so the final question. What it's kind of a combination of two. What's next for you? And then also, what do you want your legacy to be beyond the overall controversy of it all, the reality TV of it all? What do you want your legacy to be like?
All right. So what I'm working on now is music. That's like the main thing I'm working on. Now that the book, me writing my books is a constant 24/7 thing that
Yeah.
I'm always doing. So now me doing the music thing is kind of like my new like project. So I'm really into that right now. I'm trying to figure still out because I have a lot of songs I've recorded so far, and I keep changing the direction I want to go. I don't know if I want to go straight street rap, South Florida hip hop, and just be ratchet, or be popish, which is so up my alley because I love pop music. Like a lot of people don't know that about me. Like, like the Florida like inner valley girl in me is
Yes.
so into country music and so into pop music and Britney Spears and Kelly Pickler and Carrie Underwood and fucking girl. I be the music that goes on in my house. I know my neighbors are like, 1 minute you're listening to Whitney Houston, 1 minute you're listening to Kodak Black, and then 1 minute you listen to Carrie Underwood. Carrie Underwood. Which one is it?
Like,
Like,
who lives here?
and then I'm listening to Selena, Bitty Bitty Bomb
Yes.
Bomb all day. So it's like, who is this bitch? But so the songs I have like some rap songs. I have like a pop song that I created, and that's what changed my mind. I'm like, oh my god, the pop song is so good. Do I want to just continue doing, try to create some more pop tunes? So it's been really fun for me. I love working with Jerry. He's literally I can't even tell you. He reminds me so much of the person that I worked with when I created the song Baby Daddy in Florida. That was like one of the only songs I created that I actually liked and I put out. And it was the process doing it was so fun because the guy was such a dream to work with. And Jerry reminds me of the same type of vibe.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy with that. That's what's my books and my music and continuing my business entrepreneurship with trying to create because my supernova brand and my supernova adventures in space is two separate things. Like,
Yeah.
they share a common name, but supernovas, that's just her name. That's a totally different business. And my supernova brand, like supernova by itself, like I want that to be a totally different thing. Like clothes, like I can see supernova, just the word like on everything. Like,
Yeah.
so that's what's really nice for me, and what was the second part?
The legacy, well, what do you want your legacy to be beyond the controversy and the reality TV of it all?
My legacy, I really want it to be, I was a trans woman who, stood on business, who was very talented, who was a very good person, and who genuinely loved her community. Because there's one thing about it, I genuinely love my community. And I'm talking about the LGBT Black Latin community. Like, you don't know how much I love us. So I
Yeah.
want that to be a main thing in my life where people know I've represented to the best of my abilities being part of the LGBT and being a proud brown black person and in this bitch straight up.
Yes. I live for it. I live for it, babe. Well, first off, you made it to the end.
We made it.
You made
Ooh, my big
it.
chicken is probably so mad at me and dry right now.
Oh! I live. But no, you made it. You did such a great job. Kudos to you, babe. And kudos to just sticking it out. Things were rough, but you was doing your biggest this season. I'm very proud of you. I'm proud of the entire cast. But me personally telling you, getting to know you has been a pleasure. And I just really enjoy your journey. And I can't wait for the people to get to know you even further,
I mean, you were the first person, member of my audition, to grab me
Yes.
to, pull me upstairs to go finish my audition and stuff like that. Like, I feel like the girl I was in my audition is really not the girl I am today.
Very
Like,
much.
you remember I was like all about my ex-boyfriend. Remember
Yeah.
he just went to jail and I was still I feel like the things I accomplished were more aspirations in my audition.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, I'm working on these books. I'm a writer. I want to do music. Cause remember you weren't in that part of it, but they asked me like, do you do music? And I'm like, I dabbled in it. I want to do more of it though. Like
Yeah.
So I feel like the girl I was a year ago auditioning for this is definitely not the girl I am today. I feel like I'm so much more uh like mindset and focus on like what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna accomplish it and do it. Like I just know now. And
Yeah.
I'm not so invested in like a relationship, even though it's like if a good one is here, I'm all for it. But as far as the girl I might really, when that was the main topic of like discussion, I feel like that's not me today. Like I feel like I have way more to offer than just my relationship.
Yes, absolutely. But that comes with growth. That comes with, learning yourself and also like devaluing yourself too. And as you said, you wasn't the same girl coming into casting because you learned who you really were in the midst of that. Like identity wise, there's nothing to do with it. It's about that inner core of like finding that perseverance, finding that like real journey, and kudos to you, babe. You've been doing amazing. You made your mistakes, but girl, we ain't about to see on these mistakes, girl. You did them. It happened. Everybody got to get over it. Okay.
Yes, y'all, please get over it. I'm sorry. I promise you, I'm sorry. Like, please forgive me.
Yes. Thank you, Monique. Hi, Jamar. What's Tia?
Oh my God, hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Jamar.
So I have a couple of questions. I don't believe, because I think I sat through a majority of the interview. I think I caught everything, but just in case, I know you had mentioned earlier that you had got emotional because of, the relationship that you had with your parents. Have your parents at all seen the show, and has it affected your relationship going forward?
Yeah, they actually have watched the show. My mom has reached out to me a lot in regards to what she sees on the show and the comments. And I could say the show has helped 110% our relationship because they never seen Nova before, ever. They kicked me out when I was the old me. So them looking at me now on screen on the TV and also seeing how, because my mom says a lot how she feels how much the cast likes me and really like love me, genuinely like cares about me. She says she could feel that coming from Tony, Dominique, Kendall, like she could feel that type of energy, and she's just like that. She's really happy that you know I'm who I am today. Like she's proud of it. She does wish I could learn how to think before I talk, which is something she's always had an issue with since I was a little kid. But I do feel like the show helped my relationship with my parents, and I'm grateful with that. Because they got to see you guys introduced them to Nova. If it wasn't for y'all, they still wouldn't have met Nova.
Wow.
Period. And I know, like what you said when we first brought it, I remember January of 2025 when Nova Banks walked into the room. And me and JT was like, girl, because she was telling her story. It was of course about your boyfriend at the time,
hmm
and that whole love triangle that was going on. I was just like, oh my God, this is juicy. Girl, tell me
Yes.
more. And
hmm
of course, in filming, you shared some things about your family dynamic, your brother and the memories that you guys have. So I'm glad that you're able to showcase that. And I believe you mentioned before, either to me or somebody else, that this season there were moments where you felt like you were sort of, I don't want to say the word insecure, but you felt like you didn't want to submit scenes because you felt like, oh, it wasn't good enough.
hmm
How would you approach another season if given the opportunity?
Yeah. So, like, for example, so when you guys picked me, um, you guys were very persistent on the fact that this was going to be a very upscale season. You guys wanted it to be a reboot. You guys wanted it to be very much, elite, you know? And I don't know, I just was trying to, I guess I just didn't see why. I was trying to figure out why you guys picked me. And that was the main thing in my head because I was around, I felt like a lot of excellence. Like,
Mhm.
no matter the shady stuff, everyone was doing what they know what they're doing. Like everyone was serious about what they were chasing and what they were doing in Atlanta, and everyone was doing it and doing a good job at it. So it was mm, like like I was just like, oh, like and I just feel like I didn't put my foot in my mouth because I was so real and authentic in my audition. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, they picked me for a reason, but it's just like I was just insecure being around everyone else because it just seemed like they were doing so much and so much like serious more. So I was like, didn't want to submit scenes because I was like, I didn't like just want to embarrass myself. Even when I was
Hmm.
like doing the studio sessions with this other producer that I had met, like the music didn't sound good, and I was like, oh my god, this would have been so funny to like watch back because it was such a hot mess, but like that's something I could have submitted, and it would have
Yeah.
been funny to watch back. But I was like, no, I don't want to do it because I want to make sure at least the song sounds good at first. So if they do come,
Hmm.
they could be like, oh, you're working on a good song. Like now, and on top of that too, like I didn't know production as well as I know you guys now. Like I didn't know, but like now
Yeah.
I'm so comfortable. Like I will let you guys walk in on me like taking a fucking shit probably in my bathroom. Like I
Not
don't
taking this
care.
shit, please.
But like but like back then I was super like, I didn't want to embarrass myself or like, like make myself seem a certain way that, like I was very so next season going forward, it would be totally different because I probably will send. You guys will probably be annoyed about how much scene requests I would send it. Like, because I'll probably be just, all right, you guys want to come here? You guys want to come here? You guys want to come do this? You guys want to come do like you guys could just come do it all. Like it.
Yeah, and I think, and I at the beginning we had a different way of doing the scene requests, because of the different producers that we had at the time. But I know at the beginning, at least from what I remember, the conversations putting the cast together, we chose you because we liked how it was a element of we found somebody who is not only new to Atlanta but also new in her transition. So, and we there was all the personality was there. So
Hmm.
there was an opportunity to tell a story of somebody really starting from the beginning and not always being about already arrived, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that
So we
does
have
make sense because that's how I felt. I feel like this was literally my beginning, and I wanted to like showcase like the beginning kind of like my start in Atlanta and then and
Yeah.
but I just as far as like seeing the cast and you guys being so specific on this being such an upscale season, I was just like, ooh, they brought little Nova from Florida in this bitch. Like they sure they picked the right girl for the job.
Oh yes, yes. I mean, and even like with us, nobody is clairvoyant. We're only going based off of instinct, how we see things potentially playing out, how we see things play out in the past from experience, and just kind of
Mhm.
go with that.
Yeah.
Um, so I remember that's what we were thinking. It was like, I mean, the story with the personal and your relationships was good, and there was an opportunity to really see because a lot of the trans women that we've had in the past were sort of already established in their their journeys, or at least further along in comparison, because Drew had already been performing for years. Willa had been doing her hair for years. Kendra had been making music already for years by the time she was cast on the show. So it was an opportunity to really see somebody who was younger and really at the beginning, see what that looks like.
Mhm. I'm like a chasing baby.
Yes. I live.
Yes, yeah, that's what the thought process was. At least that's what I think me and JT were talking about at the time.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
definitely received that, and I definitely appreciate it because this opportunity, like, I remember when I got the email that I was picked on the show. I literally started crying because I was like, because I remember walking out thinking like, oh my god, I just ruined it because I just went in there talking about my boyfriend, about myself. I was like, oh my god, I totally forgot so many more aspects to my story because I just went in there just. totally liking you guys as friends. Like, didn't even know you guys. I'm over here like telling you guys all the tea.
Yeah.
And she
Like,
really was. I was like,
so I
damn.
was like, oh my god, they're not gonna pick me. Like, oh my god. So then when I got picked, I was like, and I started crying because I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be so fun. Like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna be so much fun. And I just went straight to rewatching Chasing Atlanta, and I was like, let me see what I'm about to really dive into, like again, because I haven't. I watched 1 through 4. I feel like when it came out consistently, and I fell off.
Hmm.
But I went back and I rewatched it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. I feel like I'm way different than the other trans girls you guys picked, so I was like, yeah, I'm ready.
Oh yeah, and I, I tried to encourage as many people as I could prior to the audition starting to just like, you really never know, and this goes just beyond, chasing. If there's something that you want to do, you never know what you can achieve if you just don't get out there and do it. Because I share my story of how I got to where I'm at because I was just a watcher just like everybody else. And it wasn't until I started doing, interviews with the cast, kind of like how JT is doing now, building that relationship with Andario. And I had some filming in experience from other platforms that I got to work with. And I filmed a couple of cast members before. It was sent that footage over to Andario. He liked how I filmed. He
Hmm.
asked for some assistance here and there because I actually had auditioned for season 5. Not a lot of people know that. But I had actually auditioned myself for season 5, and so when the opportunity came to be an assistant and then led into a producer, you just never know. I would have never done any of that if I didn't just put myself out there and doing whatever it is I enjoy to do. So I
Yeah.
think that was why too. I was like, I like to see people just stepping out and doing their thing. So I like to reward people like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That
Cause
would have been
same.
that would have been some tea to see you on the Chasing Atlanta thing in season 5,
Ooh,
child.
Okay.
child, can you imagine?
Mind you, the majority of the mess be starting around Jamar's birthday anyway.
It really
Okay,
was, and that
tomorrow's the
was insane.
birthday.
That I really was. At that time, I was.
Yeah, it was the birthday real bad. But no,
Love
But yeah,
similar story. Like I had this seeing that a lot of y'all. This is y'all first season on Chasing Atlanta. This was my first season producing with Chasing Atlanta. Like I was kind of similar where I was a watcher as well, and then I remember sending a DM to Dario maybe 2 years ago, maybe right before he actually decided to do Chasing Atlanta season 7. Um, I sent him a DM basically after all the season 6 mess happened. I was just like, keep going. This is, just momentary. Don't let the mess of the situation stop you from doing something you love or whatever. And so fast forward, I did say later on, like, if there's any opportunity for me to assist the production in any capacity, let me know. So last not this past year, the year before that was when he had hit me up. I had a meeting with him and Jamar. We chatted up about what I had in mind to bring to the show. Boom, we started everything up. And I'm grateful too because I've been able to learn a lot in the process of all of this. I've been able to meet all of y'all. I've built such great relationships with you, with Tony, with Sammy, Q, everybody. Like I really feel like I've really connected with some newfound
No
people.
shade. Our ladies' room group chat.
Tea. Ladies' room is everything. I
Hmm.
love it. But those moments like that allowed me to really grow and blossom. Like not even just as a producer, but as a person of the community, as a trans woman, me experiencing you guys have helped me, with a lot of my confidence. You have been a very big figurehead involved in like my decision to finally start making those decisions for myself. Because a lot of people don't know, people can have like thoughts about you based off of the TV show, but I think people don't realize how kind you really are. Like you literally said to me straight up, like, I need to start making decisions that make me happy and for myself. And with that comes making the decision towards transitioning. And because as many people don't know, I'm not on hormones yet. And so with that comes like a real decision mentally to be like, hey, I want to do this. This is something that's going to make me feel better about me physically, emotionally, mentally. And you, as well as Tony, have been huge parts in making me feel comfortable in doing it. You know what I'm
Of
saying? And so I
course.
always acknowledge how much I appreciate you.
Girl, you know I love you.
Love you.
Anything I can do to help you in any part, I'm all for it.
Absolutely. Vice versa. Listen, anybody else is ready to pop up? Like, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns for Nova, I'm gonna drop the link one more time.
Y'all had a lot to say. Come on.
I'm
Okay.
crying.
Oh wait. Yes, we're
And
open to all
I have to tug on her wig real quick. Nova, you ready?
Yeah,
uh
ready.
Because I live 2 minutes away from Nova, and I don't never hear not a peep, text,
Really?
call, or nothing from that lady.
Y'all, don't hurt me. It's really because I started this new job and I've been so focused on it. Like,
Mhm.
I don't really talk about it too much, but it really is. I've been like focused on waking up. I have to wake up like every day at like 4:30 in the morning, get up, fix my hair, be looking like Nova for these people, be there all day, see thoughts like my mind is be so overstimulated. So by the time I get back home, I'm like, okay, let me write a few words in this book or let me just do something productive and then go to sleep. But we all do need to key and catch up and like go have do something like for
Yeah.
sure. Like I need
Absolutely.
to get out the house because I'm always here. I'm always just in my little princess, little Barbie mansion.
I mean,
Listen.
most of us are now because that's where most of our money is going anyway.
Oh,
Yes.
So we
thank you.
enjoy it.
Look, and that's the major part too. All the money I make goes into this bitch. So I'm like,
So
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to
enjoy
enjoy
every
my
inch of this
invest.
shit.
Okay.
So y'all are
Listen.
always more than welcome to come to the fucking the Southside Princess Palace. Like more than welcome. I'm always here chilling. I'm always here smoking. I'm always listening to music. I'm always cooking. You guys could always come and get a plate. Like
Oh, you know, I ain't going to
you
deny no
just
food
gotta,
now.
call a bitch, let her know what you want to do. I'll never deny a pull up. Pull up.
Okay. I
Yeah,
live.
yeah. Yeah, I
I
think we
live.
should I wanted to emphasize or, encourage us to hang out more or just to enjoy, especially in the off season, because a
Yeah.
lot of times it's just like we want to celebrate, like we did this thing. Everybody has had this shared experience and nobody else can really talk about it but us.
Mhm.
So I think it's always good and healthy to keep that, going and going into the next season. Like you said, you didn't know us before, but you know us now.
Right, yeah. So we're definitely gonna catch up. I'm gonna start coming out more. I'm finally I can start driving now. That's another thing. A lot of you bitches thought I just didn't have a car because I didn't want to. No. My ass did something bad in Florida and they caused me to get my license revoked until 2026. So now officially I'm almost done paying my court fees to Florida for them to reactivate my license. So now I'm gonna be a Barbie on wheels in a couple months. So
I live.
Hell yeah.
fuck that.
I live for it. I
So I'll
live
be
for
out
it.
way more. So I'm just really just trying to hurry up and pay everything I need to pay so I can get back into motion because I've been without a license for like almost 3 years.
Wow. Well,
Oh,
period.
period.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'll let you conclude everything. Shout out to Nova. I'll let y'all finish everything here. I'm gonna drop down, let the people come
Love
up
you,
and do their
babe.
thing.
Bye,
All right.
Jamal. Love you, more.
Bye.
Hi, Kathy. How are you, babe?
I'm good, JT. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Okay, Miss Banks, I know you're not fond of me because of the quotes that I did with Althea when she was up here, but I got some favorite quotes of yours as well, especially since I ain't gonna apologize, but I could beg your pardon. I use that a lot. Now,
That
you,
would
you done
definitely
pissed,
fit me.
child, that's been my favorite ever since. I've been using that ever since I heard it. I said, ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna use it.
I don't even know where that came from either. That literally, the shit I be coming up with literally be coming off the dome. Like, where the fuck did I pull that out from? Beg your pardon?
Because
Where the
when you said
fuck?
it, I was like,
Now I ain't gonna lie to you, Nova. You pissed me off this season, and I was not feeling you at all. But hearing Scotty rave about you being such a sweetheart in person and seeing you on this interview, I will say I would love to see you on season 8 and bring this type of energy onto it.
Thank you.
Cause I was every time you was pissing me off, I'd be like, she ain't the Puerto Rican princess. I'ma call her the Puerto Rican peasant. That is for Jocelyn Hernandez. You're not gonna
Talia.
take Jocelyn's title, cause everybody keeps saying
Right.
that.
I have to stop saying Puerto Rican princess. I should have just said the South Side princess the whole time. That would have been so much better.
Yeah.
Oh,
It probably would have
and
been received way better because you know how to go. Boys and girls have been doing, child.
Yes. But I appreciate that though. Thank you.
no problem, and it's no problem. And I did kind of read you on when you and giving you the real tea was going at it. I did kind of read you. I said, leave my brother alone now. Don't do that. Wrong road,
Mhm.
wrong road. I
Yeah,
will
that's definitely
apologize
the
for that.
wrong road. I don't want to go down that road.
I, I will apologize to you for that. But as far as you getting the threats and the misgendering, I don't agree with that at all. Like I said, you made me mad this season, and I did say I will verbally drag you. However, I don't agree with the misgendering. I don't agree with the threats from the stands. It doesn't matter what you did because I still feel like you was wrong. It's two left shoes for airing out that man business like that. However, they ain't got nothing to do with me. But I don't agree with you getting the threats of the being pow powder or anything like that because at the end of the day we're all human and like Carl, my husband, said, it's just a effing show. Y'all taking this a little too seriously.
Yeah, just a little too serious. But thank you. I
It's
definitely
no problem.
received that.
Oh, hey,
I love it.
Brandon. Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I gotta come up here, and let her know I couldn't stand her this season, but I would love to see you on season 8. I would love to see everybody on
Thank
season 8,
you.
actually.
Yeah.
I
Well,
want to see
thank you,
everybody back
Kathy.
too.
Yes. Yes.
And
Thank you, Kathy. You
no,
have any more questions?
the main reason why I couldn't stand you is I figured it out. You was a Scorpio like my auntie, and me and her always had that like love hate type relationship. And I can hear her say that I ain't gonna apologize, but I can beg your pardon. I told her that she fell out laughing. She said that sounds like something I would
What's your
say.
sign? What's your sign?
Oh, honey, I'm a Taurus.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I am a Taurus.
Ooh,
But you
Uh-uh,
see,
Catherine.
JT, don't do
Tauruses
that.
and Scorpios, we y'all Tauruses are like attention whores though, no shade.
They
We
are.
are Indians.
And y'all are
Indian.
stubborn.
Y'all are like the star of the room.
Hmm.
Yes, we are.
So so
And I
Scorpio,
do that
we feel
at
like
I'll
we're the
act like that
stars
at work.
too. So it's the issue.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. See, and I'm earth, you water. Y'all gonna drown us. We gonna cover y'all with dirt. So,
I
Mm-hmm.
can't. I cannot.
but I did want to say that I want to come up here. Like I was like, oh, I see her in a whole different light. And Scotty raves how actually a sweetheart you are. And I saw the fact that you and Althea apologized to one another. So I'm like, yeah, I see no reason as to why you're still getting threats, why you're still being misgendered. It's just disrespectful at this point. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's okay though because again, the intention of having these conversations is for people to, not necessarily change their perspective. Everybody grown, everybody can make choices that they want to make, but the intention is for Nova as well as everybody else who's getting interviewed to express their story in their way. And the people that are meant to receive it or want to receive it will. And so, Catherine, you being one of those people, we appreciate that. Like, it's just remaining open minded, realizing that people make mistakes. Like Hannah Montana says, everybody make mistakes. Everybody has those days. Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay.
it's just kind of like we just gotta again give people grace, and grace can be due in all forms and facets with everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if you need me to slap the piss out of 6'7", please let me know because I'll go to Florida real quick. Never been.
Yes. Can we please do a pull up and drive by on
I will pull up
6-7
on.
just for trying me while I was trying to cry and he want to smile in my motherfucking face?
I'm
Yeah,
screaming.
and the fact that what he said and how he sat up here and said, if I wanted to be with a woman, I'd be straight. I didn't like that shit at all. And when you said that on the show, I was like, wait a minute. I said, I may not like her right now, but I'll beat his ass. I fight men. I do.
He
I
would
will fight a
always say
man.
stuff like that to me. He would always be like, no matter how pretty you are, bitch, what man would want to be with you if they could just be with a woman that looks just as good as you and then have like a family? Like, he would literally like take it there. And I'll be like, oh my God, maybe you're right. Like, have me thinking, but I had to like, knock that shit out. Like,
But
okay.
and
And
I'm
you just
glad
feel
you
like that
did.
because you want a boy.
Or if
No,
he want a
Shannon?
boy, he could go. He could go. Never mind. I can't say that on this live. I
We
was
can
about to
go he
say
can go
something
where he be going, which is grinder and jacked, doing the
that
hookup.
I wasn't even gonna say that. I wasn't even gonna say that. If he wanted a boy, he better call up Cat Williams, like he said. I am a boy, Damon. Don't do that. Mm-mm.
I'm
We
screaming.
is. I'm so
Um,
serious because I really it's when I seen that and then you said you paid for that ticket. I almost want to slap the piss out of you. I said I know you ain't paid for this man to come out there. You lost your mind.
Child, the things I would do for 6'7", because I was in a different mentality with him. Like the things I would do for 6'7", I probably would never do for somebody else. It's just when you're with that your first love, you do dumb things, and
yeah.
you learn from that,
Yeah.
and you'll never do
Mm,
that again for somebody else.
you. Oh yeah, trust me, I know how it is. Cause for your first love, yeah, I did some dumb things. I didn't do it for his ass. I did it to his ass because he pissed me off. I done set his lawn on fire. Yeah, y'all, I was crazy.
Yeah, I did all that too.
Bust the windows
Trust.
out his car.
I had 6'7" drove me. He was trying to leave me one time, and I went on top of his car. And he was trying to get me off top of his car, and I wouldn't get off. So he literally jumped in his car and started put that bitch in drive and started driving as fast as he could. I'm talking about I had to hold on the car for dear life. Like one false move, it would have been Nova would not be in the seat right now.
Oh
Like
no, he did not. See,
and I
I
had
would save the
everyone in
for
the
his
hood. We
ass.
was in the hood. Everyone in the hood looking at me, like just outside, just on top of this man car, like about to kill me. Like it was crazy.
That is crazy. That is so crazy.
That is very crazy. You better than me. You crazier than me. I wouldn't have been on top of his car. I would have been in that bad boy though.
I was
I would have hopped in through the
obsessed. I
sunroof
used
or
to be
something.
so obsessed with 6'7". He was literally so fine to me that that's all I could see. All I could see was it was like lusting. I used to lust over him so bad. And I had to realize I'm not it's lust at this point. Like cause you a piece of shit.
I'm screaming.
Brandon, please. I'm acting right. Look, was the Diaga good? Is that why? Because you know the Diaga, some good Diaga will make you do some crazy things. Ask about me.
Mhm.
Okay. Not the Diaga.
Yeah, was the
Yeah.
Diaga good?
It was good. He's 6'7", so it was okay. It was
Oh, okay.
something.
Because it was
Oh, okay.
something. I'm screaming. I live. But Catherine, do you have any more questions? We about to round this out.
No, I just want to say what I said. Like I said, I didn't like you at first, but after seeing this and hearing about how sweet you really are, I was like, I'm gonna give her a shot and I'm gonna listen to this interview. Because at first I didn't want to listen to it. I was like, nah, I'm gonna listen to it because I cut off divorce sisters for this. So
Well, thank you
Well,
so much. I really appreciate it. And I hope other people have your same point of view because I'm really not this evil bitch. I am messy. I will claim that all day. But evil and, no. I am a nice
no,
girl at the end of the day.
I don't feel like you were evil. I just felt like like you said messy because I know messy when I see messy because I'm messy and I'll be the first to admit it.
Mm-hmm. But I'm messy, but I'm also very sweet. So it's like two things could be true at once. Promise.
Yes, yes.
yeah. But thank you, Catherine. We'll see you next
Thank,
time. Okay, bye.
thank you, JT. And I'm getting on Sammy when he come up here. I'm letting you know that now.
Okay, period. Okay, before we leave out, somebody said, Nova, do you want children? Because it seems like when you speak about your children book and how you want to give back to children, I can tell it makes you happy.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to be a mother. I've always saw myself being a mom. If I was born with a pussy, I probably would have 4 kids by now. Like 2 by 6'7", one by one night stand, and then one by like the one who's in prison right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have a baby, 2 grown teenagers, and one like middle child that's like 8 or 9 for
No,
sure.
I tell people the same thing. I probably would have had at least 3 kids by now.
Yeah, so I always wanted to be a mom, but yeah, that's the main reason. I kind of feel like I'm not going to be though. So me doing children's books is the reason why I'm so passionate about it because I feel like it gives me a way to like kind of be like a mom to someone who's reading the book in a way. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Definitely feel that. Well,
Hmm
I live for all the things. Again, you did amazing today. I really appreciate you
Thank
taking your time to
you.
come over, really express your story fuller, and hopefully, when season 8 comes, you'll be able to continue your journey on chasing. But we appreciate you. Sending nothing but love to you always, and
Thank
continue to just be
you.
amazing and grow, babe.
Thank you. I love you guys too. To be continued, right? The journey
The
continues.
journey continues. But all right, babe. Thank you for being here. And
Thank
we're
you for
gonna talk.
having me. Shout out to your whole fucking platform. I love your interview. I'm a beach girl. I'm a BGC. I'm a BGC fanatic. So when
Yes.
I see you got that Tiana interview, and then I was on TikTok, clock it. You're making your rounds. You're going viral because the BGC pages are picking up that interview, girl. And I was like, look at literally nothing to do with nothing, and you popped up on my fucking TikTok this morning, and it was your Tiana interview, and it wasn't
Oh,
even you
yeah.
posting it. It was a BGC obsessed T page posting your interview, and it had like almost 300 likes on it on TikTok. And I was like, I
Yes.
should have sent it to you. And
You
I was like, oh
should.
my god, look at JT. I'm so proud of her. Like, you
Thank
should do more
you.
interviews like with more like reality universe people.
Yes. From your words to God's ears, because I'm trying my best to add in some more people. I think this whole like BGC world thing
You should
might be
even
a
do
thing.
Making the Band Girls. I don't know if you used to watch that, but I feel like they would have the
Yes.
time to talk about some stuff.
Yes. That's a great idea.
With the Diddy
I,
stuff, like I'm sure you could find a couple girls who, were on that show and, would love to probably do an interview.
yes. That's amazing. I think that's a great idea. Okay. Come on now. Give
Like
me
how you feel
ideas.
about not making it to Danny Kane.
Okay. You made me want to do a whole rewatch because Making the Band was everything to me back in the day.
They have the whole thing on YouTube. I'm so mad that we can't like stream it on like an MTV Paramount or something because I used to be tuned in every week to figure out who was gonna be part of the fucking band. Like
Yes.
I was so obsessed with that era. Like, and then I love the five girls they did pick, like the Andrea, Aubrey, Dawn, D Woods, and Shannon. Like I was obsessed with Danity Kane. I'm talking about I was in the store buying their album. Like love them
Yes.
down. Like you should definitely get into that.
I'm gonna definitely look into it because that's a great idea. Great idea. But we're going to keep these interviews going, honey. So, and many people didn't already know, this coming Friday, we're getting back to our Friday interviews, and we are going to be getting into Sammy Austin. Sammy, we're going to be talking about all the things in his journey with chasing. And same as everybody else, y'all can come on in, ask him all kind of questions you like. Thank you for the super chat, Brandon. We appreciate it. Juliana Turlington really is great at this. I'm screaming. So I have two separate names. One is Jatavia Walters, and then the other one is Juliana Turlington. These are names that we've created, like the Style Squad over here has helped create. So I
I
haven't
love
decided.
them.
I haven't decided which one I want to keep because I like both of them.
That's like me with the what was Tony call me? Nova
Nova
Shakova.
Shakova.
Nova Shakova. I love that. Every time it would play on when I would watch the show and she would say it, I swear I would say it the rest of the night. I'm Nova Shakova.
Yeah.
I am Nova Shakova, period.
I live. I live. Yes, I live for it. So, but yes, we're having Sammy this coming Friday. Be sure to be here at 8 p.m. Again, thank you again, Nova. And
Thank
until
you.
next time, everybody, y'all have a great night.
Bye y'all.
Waist up, what's cracking? What's up, little baby? What's happening? I know you about ready for some action, so just slide to my current. Let's get nasty. Say waist up, what's cracking? What's up, little baby? What's happening? I know you about ready for some action, so just slide to my